It's in the 30s. Average low, by the way, this time of year is 46, so a little below average. Tomorrow and Thursday, sunshine at or just above 70 degrees. Warmest day of the week, Friday, sunshine 75. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Tyson Furniture.
At Tyson Furniture, we have a huge selection of furniture, honest values, and great service. We're a big store, and Black Mountain has wonderful restaurants and interesting shops to explore. Visit us at Tyson Furniture in Black Mountain, where beautiful homes begin.
The can't-miss music event of the year is coming to the CW.
The 2022 iHeartRadio Music Festival.
Featuring once-in-a-lifetime performances from the biggest superstars in all of music.
Ladies and gentlemen,
what's up, Vegas?
Make some noise! I don't know if y'all ready for this one.
All hosted by Ryan Seacrest from T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas.
Don't miss our 2022 iHeartRadio Music Festival.
This Friday and Saturday at 8 p.m. on the CW.
I'm Lindsay McCormick.
And I'm Rashad Jennings. And we're the co-hosts of The Bag, a brand new podcast from Sports Illustrated and iHeartRadio.
If it involves sports and money, we're going to talk about it. From inside scoops on the latest contracts to inspiring stories of athletes making moves in other industries to the business of gaming, fantasy sports, and sports betting.
Some of today's athletes are savvy entrepreneurs and leaders shaping the future of how the business of sports gets done.
What are you waiting for? Get The Bag.
Available on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get podcasts.
Make every meal a special occasion with a handcrafted table from the Battle Axe Furniture Company. Made from solid 2-inch thick red oak timbers, their tables last for generations. It's urban industrial meets farmhouse. Choose from 4 lengths and 4 standard styles of bases. Or if you can dream it, they can build it at their full custom millworking shop. The Battle Axe Furniture Company. Veteran-owned and family-run in Arden, North Carolina, just off I-26. Visit battleaxecompany.com to learn more. That's battleaxecompany.com.
If you are a victim of crime and your offender is currently serving time in the adult correction system, NC Savin is a free confidential service to help you find peace of mind by learning your rights and receiving updates on your offender status. NC Savin educates victims and connects you to meaningful victim assistance resources. Register today at ncsavin.org. That's NCSAVAN.org. This message is from the North Carolina Department of Public Safety.
Every search you make, every click you take, they'll be watching you.
Are you tired of companies like Google and Facebook watching you? There's actually a simple solution. Download the DuckDuckGo app today. DuckDuckGo. Privacy simplified.
The United States Constitution says you have a right to keep and bear arms. That's a quote. It's plain English. But Sherry Beasley opposes your right to self-defense. Beasley was a liberal activist judge. She supports banning firearms and magazines that are owned by tens of millions of law-abiding Americans. Beasley wants to criminalize the private transfer of firearms. That means trading or even loaning guns to your own extended family would require government permission every time. That's how Beasley got endorsed by radical gun control groups. But Ted Budd, he defends your rights. Ted Budd is A-rated and endorsed by the NRA. Ted Budd knows North Carolina gun owners because he is a North Carolina gun owner, firearms dealer, and instructor. Vote freedom first. Elect Ted Budd, U.S. Senate. NRA Victory Fund, Inc. paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. 11250 Waples Mill Road, Fairfax, Virginia, 22030.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Yankee slugger Aaron Judge 0 for 2 in the opener of a doubleheader today in Texas. He remains at 61 home runs on the season. That's one away from setting a new AL single-season record. Yankees and Rangers tied at 2, bottom third. NFL, the Steelers moving forward with Kenny Pickett and benching Mitch Trubisky. The rookie Pickett will make his first NFL start against the Bills on Sunday. After Pickett replaced a struggling Trubisky in the Week 4 loss to the Jets, Pittsburgh had to stay with its first-round pick, believes ESPN's Jeff Saturday.
Once you made the change last weekend, I'm assuming you do not want to put Mitch Trubisky back in the game after you've gone with your first-round pick and everybody's been awaiting his arrival.
Jeff Saturday on Barton Hahn. ESPN's Marcel Louis-Jacques reporting that Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa speaking with the NFL and NFLPA today as part of their review of how his concussion evaluation was handled during and after the Week 3 win over the Bills. Cowboys QB Dak Prescott meeting today with doctors for an update on his surgically repaired right thumb.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
To me, this team is exceeding expectations. They're 3-1 right now. I mean, in the best case scenario, what would we have said New York was going to win? 6 games, 7 games?
This and more. Wednesday morning at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2.
In the heart of Beer City, USA, 2 men, 1 journey to create a sports show unlike any other. Unfiltered, raw, and honest. One of them played a soccer goalie opposite Ben Stiller. The other once scored 6 points on Steph Curry. These guys know their shit. Let's go! Tank Spencer, Jeremy Greene, The Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings. And Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
And welcome into the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app, seen everywhere on YouTube. All you got to do is to see our beautiful faces is go to thesportsocracy.com, click on the live video link, subscribe to the channel, get into the chat, join the House of Reprehensibles, and don't forget about the link to the Battle for the Belt DFS contest week by week. The link is in the description of the video. It's not too late. It's never too late to get in on this because you can be a finalist for the Battle for the Belt just by winning a week.
Rob Johnson found that out this week.
That's right.
And none of the rest of you had a chance because he had one of the 1,000 best lineups in the world.
Yeah. Hey, I finished in 5th. I'm still taking that as a win. Pardon my stuffiness if I sound off today. Jeremy has given me the plague.
I believe Tank is now enjoying the fruits of the labor that he made fun of me for last week.
Indeed. And hopefully it will not be going too far downhill over the next 3 hours here. But
he's a warrior.
We keep it strong. I am a warrior.
He's a warrior. Let that be known.
Monday Night Football last night. 49ers just dominating the LA Rams as they have done for the last, 7 times in a row now in the regular season?
Kyle Shanahan has not lost to the Rams in the regular season.
No. Sean McVay and company just can't figure it out. The offense doesn't look good other than Cooper Kupp, which is 125% of their total offense right now.
And it's the least threatening, nice stat line you'll ever see. Cooper Kupp had 14 catches for 122 yards last night. And I don't remember one of them off the top of my head.
No.
Tyler Higbee had 10 catches for 73 yards. And I don't remember one of them off the top of my head. Deebo Samuel had 6 catches for 115 yards and a touchdown, and I think I remember them all.
I was going to say, you remember everything about that. Deebo out there doing big things last night on Monday Night Football. We've got an official. It has become officially official, the quarterback change in Pittsburgh. We'll talk about that coming up within the next hour. And then the final 2 hours of the program, as is every Tuesday, it is Power Rankings Tuesday.
Some of you are going to be happy. Some of you are going to be sad. But those of you that are sad, I'm adding a little incentive to the bottom 10.
Okay.
I'm going to give you a player that is in this next draft class that can make the rest of the season worth watching. Because you are all piddle.
All right. So who you should be targeting in the next NFL draft, coming along with your recap of what your team has done so far this season.
You know what? In this league, there's winners and losers, much like in life. It's just the way it is. For somebody to win, somebody has to lose. That's the way it goes.
That's right. All right, sticking with us for the next 3 hours. We'll have you just a bit outside. Weird news, crimes as well coming up in the third hour of the program, along with all of the power rankings. And first off, let's get into Monday. Well, first off, let's say congratulations to Jeremy and the Chief for tying
You know what? And if the reprehensibles had been on my side, this had been a win for me. Kind of feel like I got a little shenanigans. It's okay. I'm asked to legislate a lot of your fantasy arguments, and I'm just going to say, I'll remember that.
Yep. I tried to be on your side on that one, but, I screwed you over. You can blame that on me. I was the one that said the wrong line on the Beat the Chief show on Friday.
Oh, I do. That's one of the reasons that I'm fully relishing your
your
mucosalness.
That's why you gave me the plague, because I screwed you over in the Beat the Chief. But you guys tied, so congratulations on that. Our first weekly tie of the contest, and you guys got a 2-game lead on me, tied for first in the season contest.
That means we're through 4 weeks. And wall to wall, still on the board
Still
for
on
me.
the board. Still on the board, it is indeed. Monday Night Football last night, Deebo Samuel and the 49ers defense just popped off the page.
I tried to tell you. I mean, if you were panicking on the 49ers, I don't know what to tell you. That roster is insanely good. The defense, they figured out early on, you can't block us. All we have to do is send an extra guy. You can't touch us. And Matthew Stafford was on his back a lot. San Francisco's really, really, really good.
Yeah, they are. Los Angeles has got some problems, but we'll discuss those coming up in just a little bit here. Let's focus on the San Francisco 49ers, though, because that defense, true or false, is the best defense in the NFL.
I can't say it's the best. I can say it's one of the deepest.
Last night was the first time this season that the 49ers have allowed someone to score on their first possession. In fact, the field goal that they gave up on the first possession was the first points that they had allowed in the first quarter at all so far this season through 4 games.
It's very good. It's very deep. I mean, the defensive line is insane. Drake Jackson played very limited snaps. I can tell you definitively, he a dog.
Mm-hmm.
Samson Ebukam, he a dog. The entire front 7 is insanely good. And they just enforced their will on the Rams. I cannot actually tell you anything that the Rams did well last night. They looked at Cooper Kupp and said, you can do all of that you want to. We could, frankly, care less. You can complete 24 passes for less than 200 yards. We don't care. When Pillar comes to post, you get in the red zone, you can't score on us.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to be honest with you. The 49ers are going to have a number next to their name. Some of you are probably going to think it's too high.
In the power rankings, yeah.
And they should. They should. Now, I'm not going to back off what I said of the ceiling with Jimmy Garoppolo is not nearly as high as it was with Trey Lance. But the floor is exponentially higher.
Yes. I will agree with all of that. I mean, Jimmy wasn't bad. Jimmy wasn't bad last night. He was doing Jimmy Garoppolo things. Come into the game, don't turn the ball over, be relatively efficient, and good things will happen, especially when your defense is putting up points as well.
Oh, they're fantastic. Lisa in our YouTube comments, congratulations, 49ers fan. This is the second best team in the NFC. And that's what she said, and I agree.
So it goes Eagles, 49ers.
And it's close. And it's
Packers?
close. Yeah, there's
Packers
a bit of a
after
drop-off from there.
You go Packers, Rams, Bucks.
Oh, yeah, there's a
quite
lot
a
of
gap.
teams with really good quarterbacks and more holes than a big block of Swiss cheese.
Mm-hmm.
I won't be shocked in the least if that 49ers team is right back in the NFC title game again this year.
Yeah.
Because they do what good teams do. All right, you've got a limited quarterback. So how do you mitigate that? Look at the Philadelphia Eagles. Jalen Hurts is a limited thrower of the football. So how do you mitigate that? Put weapons around him that are just insane. You're so scared of the weapons because all they have to do is get the ball in their hand, they'll terrorize you. It's the same thing San Francisco does. Brandon Ayuk. It didn't have a particularly good night last night. Didn't matter. Debo did. George Kittle. It was borderline irrelevant last night. Doesn't matter. Debo was fine. And that is the scary thing about San Francisco is that they completely play in a way that blows right in the face of everything you have ever thought about the NFL. It has always been who has the best quarterback, who can really threaten you deep, who can salt away the clock by running, who is really consistent. San Francisco is none of the things that I just said. But they have enough guys that one of them pops and the defense is good enough to mitigate you. Is it a pretty way to win? No.
But
tell me a team in the NFL that has a more talented roster than the San Francisco 49ers. I'll wait.
Yeah, I can't think of one.
From 1 to 53, there's no team in the NFL that's more talented. And
Buffalo
all this,
Bills, maybe?
The Buffalo's the only one to me that's even close. Only one that's even close. They have an elite player at every level of this team.
Mm-hmm.
And so all of the gnashing of teeth on Kyle Shanahan and Jimmy Garoppolo and, he looked so bad against the Broncos. He had a playbook in his hand for about 3 weeks. He'd run with the first team about as many plays as I have. Weekend, weird. That looked exactly like the team I saw a year ago. That looked exactly like the team that's terrorized the Rams for years.
Yep. That's what I was expecting to see last week, and that's why I was off on this week, and I picked the Rams to win this game because I thought that maybe it's just not going to work. But they needed the week. They needed the week to get back into the groove, and they're not even fully back into the groove. As you said, Brandon Ayuk was pretty irrelevant. George Kittle, same thing. And it doesn't matter. Nope. I mean, as long as you have the one guy that's having, and that's the thing, you could have one of those guys every week.
And I'll go even a step further than that. The fact that they're doing this without Debo running out of the backfield, this is not smoke and mirrors at this point. San Francisco had a bit of a reputation of, look, we got a fullback that'll move out and do all these, and look, it's sleight of hand magic. That's not what this was. This was they lined up 11 on 11 and just pounded you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they did. And I'll be honest with you, I never thought the Rams had a chance. I was heavily invested in the 49ers last night. Was also heavily invested in the under. What are you just saying? Public goes one way, I go the other.
As you should always be when these two teams get together.
And I never felt threatened in either one. San Francisco's fantastic, and Kyle Shanahan, for whatever reason, does not get the credit for being as good of a coach as he is.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's the best offensive mind in the NFL.
Okay. I mean, I can obviously see where you're coming from on that one.
And we do this every year. They have a bad game, or Jimmy looks bad, or whatever the case may be, and we panic on San Francisco. And what happens every time you do that? It blows up in your face.
Mm-hmm.
I had them at 11 in the power rankings last week after they looked god-awful against the Denver Broncos. Just relax. Calm down. Don't be a victim to the most recent thing you've seen. I've seen this happen enough times. San Francisco's really good from the top down. I mean, this comes from John Lynch all the way down. The team's really good. Really good. And they can't run to save their lives, so you know exactly what they're doing the vast majority of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And that defensive line, I haven't heard anybody say this today, that's the most talented defensive line in the NFL. Yeah, and I know Buffalo's in this league.
Right.
When Drake Jackson can play, I think he played 15 snaps. Are you kidding me? He's the 7. That's how deep this team is.
Mm-hmm.
When you draft like that, and I'll be honest with you, it does my soul a little bit of good because there's no team in the NFL that drafts better than the San Francisco 49ers from top to bottom.
Baltimore.
Well, how's that looking right now? Offensive line. You're playing a guy that's never played left tackle in his life at left tackle.
Yeah, a lot of that.
I know what you're saying. San Francisco doesn't get the credit for doing that. No team absolutely looks at the draft and goes, no, we're smarter than that than the Rams. What'd you notice last night? One of these teams is really good from top to bottom. Mm-hmm. And the other one, you're hurt, you're old, and the best tackle you had all night was on somebody wearing a G-string with a pink smoke dust thing coming behind him. Good for you, Bobby Wagner.
Yeah, Bobby Wagner laying the wood to the protester.
And they should.
Oh, absolutely.
Fafo.
Yeah, absolutely.
You FA'd, now you FO.
You get those guys on the field.
And I'll be honest with you, I hope they start hitting them harder.
Right. It should not be up to security to stop those guys.
Now, did you hear
leave
his?
It up to you leave it up to the middle linebacker on the other side of the field. You get extra points for that. In fact, if a protester jumps on the field, the first team that knocks him silly, you get an extra point on the board.
Did you hear Bobby Wagner's explanation of why he did that?
No.
He said security was struggling with him, and one of these guys got hurt. These guys don't make enough money to deal with your word I can't say on this show.
Yeah.
So I figured I'd just take care of it. Hey, man, let's go,
Good
Bobby Wagner. Let's go.
You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. What is wrong with the LA Rams? Is there a way to fix it? Are they still a contender? I know it sounds like a stupid question, but think about how good the teams at the top of the NFC are. Can the Rams hang in and be a contender? We'll talk about that up next.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
Are you ready to tackle your banking needs? Home Trust Bank's team of expert advisors and lenders want to be your teammate. We want to hear your story, learn your aspirations, and assist you with financial needs, and provide options that are tailored to you. With a wide range of personal, mortgage, and commercial services, you will discover all your banking needs under one roof with a local and personalized touch at Home Trust Bank. Score big with Home Trust Bank. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
The season we've all been waiting for is here. No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in Western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
Hey folks, DG here. I have raved about Dr. Rebecca Merrill and her staff at Asheville Smiles for years now, and I hope you've already taken my advice. But don't just take my word for it. Gary recently gave a 5-star review online saying, quote, "I love the personal touch, !" They did a great job and explained everything they were doing. I am very happy we found Asheville Smiles, ! Believe me and Gary and the online review masses. And visit AshevilleSmiles.com.
The United States Constitution says you have a right to keep and bear arms. That's a quote. It's plain English. But Sherry Beasley opposes your right to self-defense. Beasley was a liberal activist judge. She supports banning firearms in magazines that are owned by tens of millions of law-abiding Americans. Beasley wants to criminalize the private transfer of firearms. That means trading or even loaning guns to your own extended family would require government permission every time. That's how Beasley got endorsed by radical gun control groups. But Ted Budd, he defends your rights. Ted Budd is A-rated and endorsed by the NRA. Ted Budd knows North Carolina gun owners because he is a North Carolina gun owner, firearms dealer, and instructor. Vote freedom first. Elect Ted Budd, U.S. Senate. NRA Victory Fund, Inc. paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. 11250 Waples Mill Road, Fairfax, Virginia, 22030.
The Sportsocracy.
Pull up your pants, take off the bra, and be a man!
And look out for Bobby Wagner. Bobby Wagner.
Here's the thing. Do it more often.
Bobby Wagner ain't playing. He ain't playing with these protesters no more.
And here's the thing. You know what? Adam Black said Pat McAfee had people coming after him. You won't be saying that when one of these morons hurts somebody. You will not be saying that, I promise you. Light them up. You want to come down here? You want to come down to my territory? You get what you get.
Oh, yeah.
I am so tired of these stupid protesters and their pink little smoke bomb. Like, oh, look, I have a cause. What's the cause? Do you know?
Care.
Oh, yeah, because nobody cares what you think.
Don't care. He had the website on his shirt, and I didn't even kind of care to check out what it is.
You know what I cared
Don't
about?
care.
How you feel today? How you feel today?
It could have been a targeting call on that one, though. I think there was some helmet to head contact. Should have thrown the flag. 15-yard penalty against the protester for the LA Rams.
Oh, that would be good. Although it was in San Francisco, so how do you know it's a...
It's San Francisco. They deserve to be punished just for that.
At Sports Take ESPN. Gage Camplin with our first Super Chat of the day. Thoughts on a 49ers-Eagles NFC Championship game? I'll be honest with you, I think you're on a collision course for it.
I think it'd be great.
I think it's the best two teams in the NFC.
Probably one of the best games that we've seen in a long, long time. Those two
we'll be
defenses
doing
going
power
up against
rankings.
each other.
We'll be doing power rankings in the next hour. And those two teams are completely bucking a trend in the NFL, which is you have to have an elite quarterback. Neither one does.
Yep.
But you've built systems around the two. San Francisco has a chaotic defense, and Kyle Shanahan is a mastermind with offense. In Philadelphia, they're playing really good defense. They're running the ball, and just get the ball out of Jalen's hands.
Yep.
By the way, can I just say that? Stop interviewing him.
Oh, is he bad?
Oh, my. He was on the Manning cast last night, and I'm not going to lie. I love watching him play. I was so wrong on him, it's pathetic, but he is one of the worst interviews I've ever heard. If you start giving 4-word answers to something, yeah, it's bad.
No.
And he just look at the camera like, are you going to ask me another question? Why?
Yeah. Why don't you say something?
Your first 4 answers were 5 words.
What was the better Manning cast, or I guess we call those specialty broadcasts now? What was the best specialty or the better specialty broadcast interview? Was it Pat McAfee and Phillip Rivers, or was it the Mannings and Jalen Hurts? Did you see Phillip Rivers?
No, I didn't.
They brought on Phillip. That was the first thing that they tried on the special college football Pat McAfee show broadcast, and there was some kind of internet issue. I don't know if it was Phillip down there in Alabama. He just didn't have a good signal, or if it was the setup that they had there at Clemson. But
well, I mean, Phillip's got like 14 kids. They're probably all on the interwebs. You get taking up all the bandwidth.
Yeah, no bandwidth. I mean, it was 3 words. I mean, it was like trying to listen to somebody through one of those old broken drive-through speakers of just hearing every other third word. They brought him on twice, and that's when I knew this is not going to be a good night.
Kids, stop with the TikTok. Daddy's on the McAfee cast.
What is wrong with the LA Rams?
Your offensive line is a disaster.
They are awful.
It's a disaster.
They are all look. The first week of the season, it was bad against the Buffalo Bills,
which is to be expected.
The Buffalo Bills bring the heat. They've got so many pass rushers that they could throw at you. You knew it was going to be rough sledding every time you go up against them, regardless of what your offensive line. I mean, hell, the Kansas City Chiefs offensive line could go up against them, and it's not going to look great. Which we're going to see that in 2 weeks, by the way. Really looking forward to that game. But then things went well. Stafford got protected for the next 2 weeks, but that was against the Falcons and the Cardinals. They don't have pass rushes.
No. The Rams are going to be able to beat teams that can't routinely get to the quarterback. And if you look at their schedule, there's a ton of teams on that schedule that fall into that.
Yes. I was trying to look at their schedule and go, oh, well, they play the Cardinals again soon. Because there's a slew of teams here that can get after them. They'll probably still win, though.
I mean, the Dallas Cowboys are going to get home at will. It doesn't matter because you can't do anything with Cooper Kupp.
Right.
It's one thing to be able to get home. What's behind you? Oh, nothing? Great.
The offensive line is a major problem, and it's one of the things that concerned me about the Rams coming into the season was you kind of patchworked an offensive line together, and I don't know how good it's going to be. And now, not only did you patchwork the offensive line together, but now you're on, your third center because of injuries.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not you're not going to be able to protect Matt. And when you get pressure on Matt does the thing that he's always done: make mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
He fumbles.
Let's be honest.
Throws interceptions.
I tried to tell you after the Super Bowl run, stop telling me that Matthew Stafford's elite. He's not.
No,
he's not. He's never been. And if you don't believe me, watch his connection with Allen Robinson. If you think Allen Robinson flew to L.A. and his talent just stayed behind, go back and watch what he's done with mediocre quarterbacks. All right? And I'm not saying Matthew Stafford's mediocre. I'm saying this is a perfect convocation of things. They're having to play a wide receiver at fullback because they can physically not get Matthew Stafford to the top of a drop without somebody losing. I think the play call is maddening. I heard Peyton Manning mention this last night. I don't understand why you keep lining up in these one-on-one matchup scenarios that you're just losing over and over and over and over again. McVay struggles when you get him out of his box. And I don't understand how he doesn't see these things. You can't run to save your life. Darrell Henderson's the better running back. Cam Akers, I'm Seacrest out.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a lot to like here. And like I said with Cooper Kupp, it's great that he's wonderful for your fantasy team. He's not really a threat to a team like San Francisco. They let him go.
Mm-hmm.
Did you notice that he was open constantly?
Well,
because
they don't
care.
Well, they don't let him go. They just keep him in front of him.
No, they're letting him go and keep you in front of him. That's all I care about. Just don't let him get behind you.
Yeah.
Because once we get to the end zone, at the end of the day, he's still a 5'10 receiver. We're going to heat up Matthew Stafford, and what's he going to do? Throw it in the dirt or fall down.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what he did, time after time after time after time. This Rams team is exactly what I have tried to say. Eventually, it'll burn you. You got a Super Bowl. Great. If you really look down the 22 players that are starting for this team, half of them don't belong in this league, let alone as starters.
No. And you live on the fact that you have 3 or 4, no doubt, over-the-top superstars. And
it's great that you have Cooper Kupp and Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey. That's great. What's your plan B? What do you do now? You come up against a team that's really good defending the slot. Oh, okay. And now? I'll be honest with you. Cincinnati, the team that played in the Super Bowl last year, you're not beating them again.
No.
If you played them right now with the way this team is constituted, you're not beating them again.
No.
And Odell Beckham Jr. will help. He's not going to fix this.
No, but he will help. And I hope there's a handshake agreement. For the sake of the LA Rams, I hope there is a handshake agreement in place of when you're ready, you will just come back. You will just be back in LA.
If I'm Odell Beckham Jr., I would be looking at this Rams team going, I don't know that that's the best place for me to win a Super Bowl. I've won one, and it was great. I love you guys. I'm not sure it's the best place for me to win a Super Bowl. I'd be looking at Green Bay going, I'm the one, no doubt, no doubt. And Romeo Doubs, dog.
Yep.
Alan Lazard, dog.
Mm-hmm.
You add me to that, that might be a Super Bowl team. You add me to the Rams, I don't play offensive line. I'm not the one scheming this. And it looks – and this is a little blasphemy because I absolutely love Sean McVay. There's a part of me that thinks he has started buying his press clippings, that he is this offensive genius.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't see an offensive genius last night. I saw I call this John Rocker syndrome. You got one pitch. It's a high fastball. That's it. They figure out how to hit that. You don't have anything else.
Mm-hmm.
You have no other complement to that. And that's kind of what I'm saying out of Sean McVay. He knows how to win one way.
Yeah.
And there's absolute – I saw it against Buffalo. There's no second act. There's no, this isn't working. Let me make the adjustment and win this game that I'm not supposed to.
Do you have the personnel for that, though?
No. You're too thin. Yeah. You're counting on 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th round rookies.
I would really love to know what Allen Robinson is thinking inside his head these days.
Well, this is not fun.
Yeah.
There's nothing fun about this.
Yeah, no. I mean, he's had, his best game has been like 4 catches. And that's it.
I think he only has 9 for the entire year.
Exactly. It's just not working the way they wanted it to. It's not working the way I wanted it to. I thought this team was going to be much better. Now, they've lost to the Bills and the 49ers. So, I mean, these are 2 teams that you can go, okay, these are legit contenders. So my question before the break of are they still contenders, I'm going to say obviously they are. But as you said, Jeremy, there seems to be a gap, a giant gap between the top teams in the NFC and the next, in the top 5, there's 1 and 2, and then there's a leap, and then there's 3, 4, 5, 6.
I don't even go 3, 4, 5, 6. For me, there's 1 and 2 are way up here, a mountain, 3, 4, 5, another mountain, everybody else.
Okay.
The rest of you, 2 of you are going to make the playoffs, and that'll be cute, and we'll allow you in, and we are going to scatter, smother, and cover you when you get here.
Speaking of scattered, smothered, and covered, the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, look, he didn't get scattered, smothered, and covered by the New York Jets, but...
No, but they hung an L. And we're going to debut something. New little, just a segment, not a full segment, just something that makes me laugh. We used to do this on the uncensored morning show. It's called Troll Patrol.
Well,
now social media teams for NFL teams have gotten pretty good at doing this themselves.
Nice.
So I might have pulled a couple things they did.
Nice. Is that coming up next?
Sometime in the next half hour.
Okay. All right. So Troll Patrol on the way. We'll talk some Kenny Pickett as well, taking over as QB1 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Is it going to matter, or are they still just a god-awful team? You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Well, the clouds are gone and some beautiful fall weather into the midweek forecast with crisp nighttime low temps, low 40s in the valley tonight, 30s with elevation again tonight. Sunshine Wednesday, high 70 degrees, and we'll keep the bright, beautiful fall sunshine Thursday and Friday with comfortable humidity, highs in the 70s, lows in the 40s. Weekend going to get cool again. High Saturday, 60 degrees. Low Saturday night, 36. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Recycle your old technology free during Staples Free Tech Take Back. Items like old modems, mice, and mobile phones, or cables, calculators, and camcorders. Staples Rewards members get $5 back in rewards. Exclusions apply. Limit 1 reward per month. Visit staples.com/recycling. Recycle at Staples.
Zero Res Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning, the most trusted and reviewed cleaning company in town. Take advantage of their fall sale going on now. Get 3 rooms of carpet clean for only $129 when you mention ESPN Asheville. Easily schedule your cleaning online at zeroresasheville.com.
You wash your hands and brush your teeth, but what about your nose? How do you clean your nose? With Navage. Navage pulls saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril, flushing out allergens, mucus, dirt, and germs, and it's why nose cleaning is the next evolution in daily personal hygiene. People try Navage for lots of reasons: sinusitis, allergies, snoring, things that make it hard to breathe through your nose. But over time, they also find that cleaning their nose makes them feel better, a lot better. Nearly 3 million Navage users have written more than 100,000 reviews, averaging 4.7 stars, saying things like, "Best product I've ever used," and "Amazing, I love my Navage." That's because Navage helps you breathe better, sleep deeper, and snore less. But the biggest payoff is improved health. Here's the key point. Navage is good personal hygiene, and it's going to help you stay healthier. At Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Bed Bath, Target, and online. Navage, Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Attention, it's time for the morning announcements. Make sure your parents are aware of the Ingles Tools for Schools program and ask them to link their Ingles Advantage card to our school. Remember, you have to do it each year. Now please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at RogueCombatClub.com.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelley Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville or call them at 828-365-1663.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
And welcome back into the Sportsocracy. Snotty Spencer here with Jeremy Greene, the infector of Snotty Spencer.
Oh, here's the thing. Somehow I managed to go through this, and I just lost my voice. I never sounded like whatever that is. I don't know what that is.
I had to ask him during the break. I was like, do I sound as bad as I do in my own head?
100%.
Apparently so. But we trudge through here. It's time for Just a Bit Outside. And the Chicago Bears suck something awful.
They're very bad.
You won't have to wait long in the top of the 4 o'clock hour to hear their name at the bottom of the NFL power rankings. But the Justin Fields thing, the passing game for this team, it is not good at all. I mean, they average 118 passing yards per game, which is last, of course, in the NFL. Well, I mean, what have we been saying about the NFL for the past, I don't know, it seems like a decade now? This is a what? Passing league. And if you can't pass the ball, you're not going to win very many games, which still just irritates me that their record looks as decent as it does now. But that's besides the point. 118 yards passing per game for the Chicago Bears. Now, this past week, it was a little bit better. Former Ohio State quarterback Justin Fields threw for 174 yards, which was his season high.
Which is, you know what, that's great.
He's out here doing stuff. His passer rating for the season is 58.7. That's 100 points lower than the perfect score.
I was about to say, if you put a 1 in front of that, it's almost perfect.
Right. But that is by far the worst passer rating in the NFL.
Favorite stat of the week. Tom Brady had 385 yards passing last week. Justin Fields has 390 for the year.
Nice. The only player with a lower passer rating on this season than Justin Fields. His 58.7 is the lowest among active quarterbacks that are currently playing. The only one lower,
Trey Lance.
That's right. Now, after the game, where he did have a season high in passing, reporter asks, why isn't the passing game working? Justin Fields said, who says it's not working?
I, Captain, I do.
Jason Leiser, said, the reporter, said the stats. And to which Fields responded, stats don't matter. That sounds like a Jeremy Greene answer. The stats don't matter.
Justin Fields is on pace to play 17 games and not break 2,000 yards.
If you're a Chicago Bears fan, how did you not break something when you heard Justin Fields say that? The stats don't matter. I mean, I get being on that side in some scenarios, but when the stats tell you that you are the worst quarterback in the NFL, I mean, other than Baker Mayfield, I think the stats matter.
I just, I don't like being the guy that says I told you so.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, I do. And I just want it to be known when we do the draft this year, I'm going to use the phrase scoreboard a lot.
Yes. As you should. Justin Fields, not a good quarterback. Chicago Bears, not a good team, despite what their record may say at this point. And when they end up, with a 2-15 record at the end of the year, and they're picking second, third, fourth, somewhere in that neighborhood in the NFL draft, take a damn quarterback. Be done with it. Just go, those guys that ran this front office before, they weren't good at their jobs. Ryan Pace was an idiot. And let's move on and just go quarterback, scoreboard. Justin Fields, best of luck to you. You can go somewhere else. Just outright cut him.
If you're a college football program and you just want to have an entertaining time, Hire a coach named Mike.
Okay.
One of them, my buddy, ECU coach Mike Houston.
Yeah.
Winning a lot of games. No big deal. But there's two others that they're just stark raving crazy people. Mike Leach. Did you happen to hear his post-game advice after they played Texas A&M?
I heard he was trying to get somebody to elope or something.
Alyssa Lang. She is an SEC Network reporter. First of all, don't ask Mike Leach an off-the-beaten-path question, because if you think your question is off the beaten path, his answer is going to be stark raving lunacy. She asked if he had any advice planning a wedding. His response was, as soon as the season's over, or even an off week, go elope. Trust me on that, go elope. Because basically every female in the family is going to terrorize you guys until it's over. Once it's over, I mean, they'll be upset for a few days, but it'll be over, and then you'll cruise along and have a happy marriage and have a happy life. He then proceeded to say he offered all of his children $10,000 cash to elope, and none of them had done it so far. I thought that would be the only entertaining thing that came out of a mic in an interview this week. And then he's a man. He's now 50. Mike Gundy. He was asked, how do you enjoy life after a big win? His exact quote was, you take a big glass, you throw some ice in it, splash of your favorite mixer, Diet Coke for me, and then hammer the rest with your favorite booze.
Yeah.
That's if you win. If we lose, I just go to bed. I don't feel it with anything else if we lose. So basically what he said is, I'll have a nice little, rum and Coke or something.
Cuba Libre.
Yeah, a little chupacabra or whatever the case may be.
Chupacabra.
And if we lose, I'm just drinking her straight out of the bottle.
Why not?
Because I have a mullet and I'm a man.
Yeah, and at that point, you don't even go for the good stuff. Like, just give me a great big jug of old granddad.
Give me that bottle that I accidentally bought this for $6.
Just let me get college student hammered.
Oh, absolutely. Jeremy Greene drunk. That's what I like to call that. I want to identify with my favorite sports host. So I'm going to just go get full Gary Busey.
Good for Mike Gundy.
I love him so much.
He's great. He's absolutely great. The Pittsburgh Steelers, brand new day in the franchise. Look, it was a brand new day at the start of the season when they were turning the leaf, turning the page over from Big Ben Roethlisberger, who had retired, to Mitch Trubisky, and then Mitch Trubisky sucked on ice. And so now they've turned the next page to QB1, Kenny Pickett, old tiny hands. Do it.
If you think that's going to save your season, I have bad news for you.
But does Kenny Pickett not give you an edge that Mitch Trubisky didn't?
I don't think so.
Better
I really
arm.
don't. I mean, look, I evaluated Kenny Pickett backwards and forwards.
Mm-hmm.
I never saw what it was people saw in him. And you know what? After a half, I watched every snap he played against my team. Guess what? I still don't get it.
Really?
I understand he's a rookie. I understand he wasn't prepared. Here's what I also understand. You don't play a game in the next month and a half that you can actually win. I don't care if you have Kenny Pickett. I don't care if you have Mitch Trubisky, Terry Bradshaw, Ben Roethlisberger. I don't care. This is exactly what I tried to warn you not to do.
Mm-hmm.
You roll in with Trubisky, that's fine. You're rolling with Trubisky until you get out of the ugly of your schedule.
You couldn't make it.
I've already done power rankings. 5 of your next 6 games are against teams that are in my top 9.
Mm-hmm. Bills, Bucks, Dolphins, Eagles. Gross. You get the Saints, and then you got the Bengals.
And guess what? That Saints game, that's still a good defense.
Yeah.
Still a good defense. To me, this has been horribly handled by Mike Tomlin. And I'm looking around going, there's no doubt this is going to be the first losing season since you've been here.
Mm-hmm.
This could be a disaster. This could be 3-14. Because there's nothing on this team that they do well. They Alex Highsmith and Minkah Fitzpatrick pretty well.
Yeah.
Although Minkah Fitzpatrick, I did thoroughly enjoy my team getting to just absolutely shut you up. I thoroughly enjoyed that. Here's a thought. When a microphone gets put in front of your face and you just lost, maybe don't throw shade at the team you just played and say, well, we know we're better than them. Here's the thing. No, you're not. It's not close.
No.
We could have played this game 10 times. You'd have lost at 9 of them.
And gotten blown out 3 or 4 times.
At least 3 or 4 of them. That entire game, there was one 10-minute stretch where you looked like you might possibly be the better team. The other 50 minutes, it wasn't close.
Mm-hmm. Is it just because their offensive line is so bad that no quarterback has an opportunity to make this team look good? Or is it just a combination of all the things? Like, you've got the bad offensive line. You don't have a competent quarterback. Chase Claypool has apparently touched the Space Jam football.
Oh, no, he's just too busy recording new TikToks.
Whatever it is, he can't catch. I mean, there was one pass that we argued about at the Village Porch, which we go every Sunday to watch the games at Village Porch. Go
51 North Merriman Avenue.
At 51 North Merriman Avenue, there in the Reynolds Village mixed-use development. But you kept saying that was a bad throw. I don't care if it's a bad throw. It was right in your hands. You got to catch that ball. And for some reason, Chase Claypool is just – he doesn't have it.
I saw it live, and I've now seen it on the All-22. It was not right in his hands. I can always tell when somebody's actually had to try to catch a football at some point. Well, they hit him in the hands. No, that's not hitting him right in the hands. That would have actually been a miraculous catch had he made it. Look, Kenny Pickett's not a good quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Trubisky's not a good quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
This offensive line is terrible. Teams know exactly what you want to do. They know you want to establish the ground game. Najee Harris has been largely irrelevant.
Mm-hmm.
Averaging, I think, 2.9 yards a carry or something just awful. And now you're trotting a rookie into the meanest 6-game stretch any team in the NFL plays all year. I checked. If you take the Vegas poll, the Vegas Power Rankings, it is the highest score in a 6-game stretch that any team plays all year. You don't have TJ Watt. You're not going to have TJ Watt for at least a few of these weeks. And once he comes back,
more, I think.
What does it matter? What does it matter? You have one win that was against a beleaguered Bengals team that, and they play right now. What's the line?
Bengals minus
10.5. They're a 14-point dog to the Bills. It's the biggest line of the year by 4 full points.
Mm-hmm.
Tells you everything you need to know. To me, this is not giving Kenny Pickett the best chance to succeed. This is listening to the fans. This is watching Mitch Trubisky going, well, you're bad. No kidding. No kidding. Yeah, he's bad. He's bad. He's bad. But you're trotting out a rookie that I didn't have high hopes for in the first place. And I've watched enough of these guys go into the league and get happy feet. You watch, mark my words, watch his feet. Watch his feet this week against Buffalo and just mentally make a note of that. And then look at him 6 weeks from now when they play Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee you see more of that pivot where the feet are not set. He has no idea where to go because you're going to get his brains knocked out.
Yeah, clearly going to be harassed against the Buffalo Bills. And then the Bucs. The Dolphins may not be bad. Dolphins don't have much of a pass rush.
Jalen Phillips, top 15 in the league in pass rush win rate.
Right.
That's good enough.
Yeah.
Against Dan Moore, who should be playing guard.
But I'm saying compared to the other teams on this schedule, that might be the one game where you go, we might have a chance. Might have a chance not to die.
Just to me, it's poorly handled, and if I was a Steeler fan, I would be irate.
Mm-hmm.
I've always thought the fire Mike Tomlin crowd is completely out of their mind. This is one of those times I'm looking at it going, all right, I'm not saying fire him. That's obviously insanity.
Okay.
But I understand why you're angry at this.
You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. Jeremy loves the way that social media teams are right now for the NFL, getting back at each other after a win or a loss or whatever. So we'll go Troll Patrol coming up next here on ESPN Asheville.
The season we've all been waiting for is here. No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in Western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays.
Are you ready to tackle your banking needs? Home Trust Bank's team of expert advisors and lenders want to be your teammate. We want to hear your story, learn your aspirations, and assist you with financial needs, and provide options that are tailored to you. With a wide range of personal, mortgage, and commercial services, you will discover all your banking needs under one roof with a local and personalized touch at Home Trust Bank. Score big with Home Trust Bank. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
I believe real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I am Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
Doug. Hey, listener. Welcome to Limu's Karaoke Lounge, where Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need, and the music never stops. Hit it!
There's an emu with a full-time job. His partner's Doug, but Limu's the heartthrob. Grubs and worms, that's what Limu eats. Gotta fuel up to save you money and hit the streets.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty. Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
I hate the struggle of tough, greasy messes on my stovetop. So I just freak, wipe, and I'm done.
When I'm frustrated with stubborn bathtub soap scum, I just freak, wipe, and I'm done.
Mr. Clean Clean Freak delivers an innovative cleaning experience with a powerful deep cleaning mist that starts working on contact to break down tough messes in seconds.
Just freak,
wipe,
done.
She posted about us just now.
Celebrities can't get enough of Rihanna's bespoke skincare line.
She has 147 million followers. How do we monetize?
She needs a social media associate to help her with the hype.
We should repost this. Need a hashtag?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
The Sportsocracy.
You two are just dumber than a bag of hammers.
And welcome back into the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. And we used to do this thing on the morning show when we were on YouTube solely in the mornings called the Troll Patrol, where we would go and we would find, comments and social media posts that were basically giving us crap.
Oh, yeah. It was always some dumb thing I had said. And you're so stupid. I thoroughly enjoyed that. We should bring that back.
But Jeremy's gone on his own little troll patrol here, especially after his New York Jets.
And I'm not going to lie, that's what got me thinking about this, was that I saw my team do one of those things that I went, that's incredibly funny.
Yes.
It started with the Jaguars last week. So the Jaguars beat the Chargers. And obviously the Chargers are the lightning bolt and all that. Well, they posted out a social media graphic of a broken iPhone charger.
Nice.
With a LA Chargers logo on it and their logo on the back. That's hilarious. Well, over the course of this week, there was a story that trended out of Pittsburgh that the Pittsburgh Steelers had that black Air Force One mentality. If you know what I'm talking about, the black Air Force One, the shoes.
Mm-hmm.
So Mike Tomlin gifted a pair of those to everybody on the team. Well, the Jets heard about this, and then they heard about what Minkah Fitzpatrick said about beating teams that you're better than, and they tweeted out a picture that you can now see on our YouTube stream of a pair of black Air Force Ones with the score, and it just says, got 'em. That deserves its flowers. That is hilarious. Teams never used to do this. Now I feel like every team in the NFL has just looked at their social media department and gone, be as funny as you possibly can.
Yes.
Next week I'll be able to do the video because there were 2 more that were videos that were extremely funny, but I can't, for whatever reason, get them to work.
Mm-hmm.
One of them was the Saints and the Vikings, and it was John Randall. Obviously, they played in England. And so it was a teacup that said Saints tea. And then in parentheses, there was an RS, and John Randall's just sitting there drinking it.
Aww.
And it looped over and over and over and over again.
Saints tears. I like it.
The Bills also posted one of The Undertaker sitting straight up out of the casket that said, our offense at halftime. Posted that about 4 seconds after the field goal went through the uprights.
Right.
That's as good as it gets. Just be salty. Your social media, that's the only reason you even exist.
Right. Social media is there for that reason and that reason alone. I mean, that originally wasn't the goal, but what have we all learned from social media? We can go on social media and say stupid things, and nobody really cares. Nobody really cares if it, that's going to come back to bite you. Well, I mean, that's kind of the game of social media now. I mean, like, what is the freezing cold takes? You remember how?
Oh yeah.
How popular that used to be, and now you can just find them anywhere. Like now, it's just day in and day out. One day you could be completely off the wall. The next day you're absolutely right about what's going on in the NFL, because it looks like everybody in the NFL, every team other than the Buffalo Bills, the Philadelphia Eagles, Kansas City Chiefs, San Francisco 49ers, Cincinnati Bengals. Those are probably the only teams in the NFL that aren't taking a backslide to the middle. Everybody's just jammed up in the middle. You can talk smack about everybody, though.
In our YouTube comments, a lot of people are asking, there was just a slurping sound. What was that? That was John Randall sipping on the Saints tears. The problem is, if you're watching on the YouTube stream, you see that we have a new interactive commercial screen that will display your super chats and all of the wonderful, funny things that you say. The only problem is that I didn't perfect it with the video because I just thought it would work. Good, it didn't. It worked with the sound, but not with the video.
Right.
That's a bug.
Stephen Tao said in the YouTube comments, freezing cold takes is still a thing.
Oh,
I
no
know
doubt.
it's still a thing, but what I'm saying is you don't need them anymore because the freezing cold takes are out there for everybody to find. You don't necessarily need a social media team pointing this stuff out to you. We got 2 hours of power rankings coming on the way here on ESPN Asheville. We will start at number 32, Houston Texans. Coming up after the Sports Center update, count you all the way up to number 1 after 4 weeks of NFL action. Stick with us.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Well, the clouds are gone and some beautiful fall weather into the midweek forecast with crisp nighttime low temps, low 40s in the valley tonight, 30s with elevation again tonight. Sunshine Wednesday, high 70 degrees, and we'll keep the bright, beautiful fall sunshine Thursday and Friday with comfortable humidity, highs in the 70s, lows in the 40s. Weekend going to get cool again, high Saturday 60 degrees, low Saturday night 36. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by News Nation. Chris Cuomo is back with a new show on a new network. Catch Cuomo weeknights on News Nation at 8, 7 Central. To find News Nation on your television provider, go to newsnationnow.com/join us.
The United States Constitution says you have a right to keep and bear arms. That's a quote. It's plain English. But Sherry Beasley opposes your right to self-defense. Beasley was a liberal activist judge. She supports banning firearms and magazines that are owned by tens of millions of law-abiding Americans. Beasley wants to criminalize the private transfer of firearms. That means trading or even loaning guns to your own extended family would require government permission every time. That's how Beasley got endorsed by radical gun control groups. But Ted Budd, he defends your rights. Ted Budd is A-rated and endorsed by the NRA. Ted Budd knows North Carolina gun owners because he is a North Carolina gun owner, firearms dealer, and instructor. Vote freedom first. Elect Ted Budd, U.S. Senate. NRA Victory Fund, Inc. paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. 11250 Waples Mill Road, Fairfax, Virginia, 22030.
At Tyson Furniture, we have a huge selection of furniture, honest values, and great service. We're a big store, and Black Mountain has wonderful restaurants and interesting shops to explore. Visit us at Tyson Furniture in Black Mountain, where beautiful homes begin.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
Two Yankees have hit home runs today, but Aaron Judge is not one of them. He's 0 for 3 in the opener of a doubleheader in Texas, remains one home run shy of setting a new AL single-season record of 62. Rangers leading the Yankees 4-3, bottom 7. Kenny Pickett, the Steelers' backup quarterback, no more. Pittsburgh making the change to the rookie. He'll make his first NFL start Sunday against the Bills. Even though Pickett did provide a spark after replacing Mitch Trubisky in Week 4, things could still go off the rails quickly for Pittsburgh, considering its upcoming schedule, points out ESPN's Dan Graziano.
They're at Buffalo. They're home to the Bucs. They're at Miami. They're at Philadelphia. I mean, we've talked so much about Mike Tomlin never having a losing season. You lose those next 4 games, which they absolutely could do. You're staring up at 1-7. It's gotten real in a hurry for the Steelers.
Dan Graziano on Greene. Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa speaking with the NFL and NFLPA today as part of their review of how his concussion evaluation was handled during and after their win over the Bills in Week 3.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
To me, this team is exceeding expectations. They're 3-1 right now. I mean, in the best case scenario, what would we have said New York was going to win? 6 games, 7 games?
This and more. Wednesday morning at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy, presented by Ingles Supermarkets and Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. We are heard everywhere on the iHeart Radio app, live or on demand. You can always check out the podcast. If you miss the show, you can always go back and watch us, too, on YouTube. And you can see us live all the time on YouTube. Go to thesportsocracy.com, click on that live video link. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And that'll get you into the chat, and you'll get the alerts whenever we go live, like for the Tuesday morning fantasy show,
which we did this morning with me and Armchair Commentary. We'll also be doing a Mullet and the Dude tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Me and Brian Haynes. That is uncensored, and we talk about a lot of irreverent things.
And we also have the, of course, when we're not on the radio, it's all uncensored because we like to say those bad words sometimes. But on Sunday mornings, we get you ready for the fantasy football day. And when we have international games, we go super early, which we'll have another one of those this week at 8:30 in the morning with Jeremy Greene and Armchair Commentary. I will be joining sometime around kickoff.
I fully believe that this week will be not unlike last week I will need a domestic light and a little Debbie cake just to turn the camera on.
Hey, anything goes. Anything goes when it is an early kickoff. 9:30 will be the kickoff this Sunday as the Green Bay Packers take on the New York Giants at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in London. 8:30 time, though, for the Fantasy Game Time Decisions show every Sunday. And then immediately following the show, you can join us at the Village Porch on North Merriman Avenue, 51 North Merriman Avenue, up in the Reynolds Village subdivision. Always a great place to catch a game. Actually had the actual buffalo-flavored wings this past week. God,
quite
so
lovely.
Good. They're so good. Chicken wings. One of the best spots in town to find those is the Village Porch. And our good friend George runs the show over there. Fantastic.
Oh, it's tremendous.
Fantastic. All right. It is Tuesday afternoon here in the Sportsocracy inside the Ingles studio, and that means it's power ranking time. And we start at the bottom, as always.
We're like Drake. Started from the bottom, now we're here.
And as always, at the bottom, we should just set this as not in the 32nd position this week. It is in the Houston Texans position this week.
Frankly,
it is the Houston Texans.
Frankly, the bottom three are pretty locked in for me. I don't see those changing anytime soon.
I mean, they could. Sam Darnold comes back. Maybe the Panthers will get out of the bottom three. You never know. You never know. But first up, it is the Houston Texans, the only team in the NFL this season that does not have a win. They do have a tie to their credit, so it's not completely a losing season right now.
And I said, the bottom 10 teams, I'm going to try to give you a little hope. Houston, the Bears have 2 wins, and they can't play dead in the Western. So the chances of you winning twice are very minimal, which means you're probably going to have your choice of the quarterbacks. If I was prognosticating which one it would be, I will say Bryce Young. Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud both have size issues. I don't know that you can bypass them, especially if you're the name's gone completely out of my head. The GM in Houston.
Nick Caserio, who has 1 foot in the grave and 1 foot on a banana peel. I don't think you can do that because on the off chance that one of them becomes a franchise signal caller, you will look like a big old dum-dum. So, maybe catch an Alabama game, Ohio State game, fall in love with one of those guys. They'll be your quarterback next year because Davis Mills is not it. Yeah, I like Bryce Young in Houston.
I don't know why, but that feels like the way it's going to go.
Well, I mean, he looks very Deshaun Watson-y, as in he's mobile, he's elusive, he can make those amazing plays. I don't know. I'm not the arm talent judge, but how would you compare the arm talent there for Bryce and
Deshaun Watson
and
has a better arm? No doubt. Deshaun Watson has a better arm. He has a better physical build. My closer comp on Bryce Young is actually Kyler Murray.
Okay.
He's smaller. He has determined that, hey, I can break out of the pocket and do things. I look around Houston and go, you know what? You got a running back. I think you hit several of your players in the draft this year, but you're really young, and you have a talent deficiency. Good thing you have the Cleveland Browns pick this year.
Yeah.
So that'll be an opportunity to add a good amount of talent.
That's right. So Houston Texans at number 32. Number 31, look, stats don't matter. Really, Justin Fields, stats don't matter when the stats tell you that you are god-awful at doing the one thing that a quarterback's supposed to be leaned on to do, which is throw the football. I think you should pay attention to stats like that.
Ooh, I have stats because, see, to me, stats do matter sometimes. Not always, but many times they do matter. How many teams in the NFL are averaging less than 100 yards passing a week?
1.
It's the Chicago Bears. 2 is the Giants at $140. The Panthers are at 166. Every other team in the league is 85 yards a game ahead of them. And it's not like you got Barry Sanders in the backfield. Hey, Justin Fields, you are horrible. Horrible, genuinely just god-awful. Now, Bears fans, I said that I would love to give you some hope here, except for the fact that I have pretty decent contacts, friend of a friend. Your front office still thinks Justin Fields is the guy.
Yikes.
So you're probably going to end up taking Will Anderson, the ridiculous pass rusher out of Alabama.
Which is a very Chicago Bear thing to do. They've always focused on defense.
You can't trade 2 1s for a quarterback and tap out after 2 years. You can't, especially not when you got this around him. Because on the 0.1% chance that he went somewhere else and became a real-life quarterback, everybody's fired. Everybody's fired. Now, is that going to happen? Not unless we add 16 USFL teams. Because Justin Fields is about the 40th best quarterback in the NFL, and there's only 32 teams.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
31 other teams.
Worse than Baker Mayfield?
Yes.
Not close?
No.
That
should tell you everything you need to know.
Yeah.
Because I said Baker Mayfield should be washing cars about 3 years ago. So there's that.
Well, that brings us around to number 30.
Adam Black has booed us twice for not having the Carolina Panthers at 31 or 32.
Cannot do it. Cannot do it because you are at least more talented combined than the two teams behind you.
The sheer fact that the Chicago Bears and the Houston Texans shared a field together and the officials didn't win is just proof positive that no matter how bad you are, there is somebody that is every bit as bad as you are.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what happened. Carolina would beat both of those teams if Carolina played either the Bears or the Texans. They would be no less than a field goal favorite on both.
Yes.
Panthers fans, they should tell you how bad the Bears and the Texans are.
Mm-hmm. Carolina Panthers coming in at number 30. We know how bad it is. We do this every week. We've been talking about it for the last 3 years of what does this team need to do, and it never changes. It never changes, regardless of the changes that have been made in the organization. You got a new owner. You got a new GM. Same problems as when Jerry Richardson was owning the team and David Gettleman was the GM. And Ron Rivera was the head coach. Nothing has changed.
And if I had to make a wager right now, I would say Carolina. I have two ways of looking at this. Yesterday I said something about Ken Dorsey. Ken Dorsey was there when the jump happened with Josh Allen. I believe that is the next coach of the Panthers. I've been on record as saying that. I'm not coming off of it. Ken Dorsey worked in Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
There's a familiarity here.
Still lives here, doesn't he?
I believe so,
I think
yes.
he does.
I believe Will Levis will be the next quarterback of the Carolina Panthers. Because I don't see any way, looking at the schedule, that you win more than 3 games.
Good God, get him in offensive line. Just
Well, the Panthers have young offensive line pieces. You just got to have some cohesion. You also have to have a coach that's got an IQ above salad dressing, which you don't currently have.
Mm-mm.
Matt Rule, buddy, just shut up.
Yeah. I mean, when he's asked, what's the quarterback situation, he goes, I think Baker Mayfield is our quarterback. Well, I mean, in the truest sense of the word, yes, he is listed as your quarterback. So, yeah, he's your quarterback. But that's never a statement that you want to hear from a head coach. I think X should never come out of his mouth, especially when it's talking about the quarterback position. You should always have some type of a definitive statement to make. Not, I think Baker Mayfield's our quarterback. Just go, look, things haven't started out the way we wanted to this year, and we're still evaluating. That would have been a better response to me.
George W. Bush once proved if you say things with some conviction, it'll take us a minute to figure out exactly how stupid it actually was.
So Carolina Panthers, Will Levis, that is your target for them at the top of the 2023 NFL draft.
See, I make jokes about both sides. All right, I get accused of that all the time. One-liners. That's what we do here.
Coming in at number 29 on the Week 5 Power Rankings, it is
the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, they're making the shift from Mitchell Trubisky to Kenny Pickett, and it's not going to matter.
Yeah, I don't. There's just not a lot of hope here. That offensive line is horrendous.
Mm-hmm.
The Jets got into a wide 9. And I'm going to be honest with you, if I was a defensive coordinator in the NFL and I watched that tape, I would play nothing but that against Pittsburgh. They had no idea. They had absolutely no idea how to deal with that. Every defensive lineman the Jets trotted out on the field just eviscerated them.
Mm-hmm.
And it became very obvious. They figured out Kenny Pickett. It's like my theory on the fired coach bump. Georgia Tech, by the way. What up? I didn't give that out in bangers because frankly, I've been burned on that twice already.
I was going to say, you missed it greatly on the Nebraska thing.
Yeah,
so.
I bet it myself. So, you know what? Sorry. Sometimes we keep things close to the vest, not sound like a moron. The new quarterback thing has the same pop. Well, now you have a half of tape on Kenny Pickett, and I'll be honest with you, I noticed it watching the CBS broadcast from a bar. So what do you think NFL defensive coordinators are going to see? There's not a lot to like in Pittsburgh. Your best weapons are not pandering into the way the team is built. Without T.J. Watt, you can't get after the passer. The secondary's not good outside of Minkah Fitzpatrick. This is just death by 1,000 paper cuts. This is a team that has not drafted particularly well, and you're starting to see it now. You just have a gross deficiency. Now, I said I would give every team a little bit of hope. And no team should probably be more hopeful of the player I'm going to give them than the Pittsburgh Steelers, because his name is Peter Skoronski from Northwestern.
Yep.
Hey, I'm still a little mucosal too, so every once in a while those ski names.
That's fine. We know what you're talking about. He's a tackle. He's a tackle. He's a tackle. Right? Come on, that's what we're being told. He is the best tackle in this draft.
He is the best tackle in this class. I look at him much like I looked at Ike Mekwanu. I know he would be a Pro Bowl level guard. I think he would be a very good tackle. I actually like him better than I liked Rashawn Slater. If you're Pittsburgh, you've got to invest in that line.
Mm-hmm.
I think you got one right with James Daniels. And then from there, I don't have a lot of nice things to say. Your tackles were brutal and have been brutal pretty much all year long.
Mm-hmm.
So you add a couple linemen to that team, and I think it would be – you could progress nicely. And that would actually give Kenny Pickett a shot to succeed.
Week 5, bottom 4. Houston Texans, Chicago Bears, Carolina Panthers, and the Pittsburgh Steelers. We'll continue with Week 5 power rankings up next, right here in the Ingles Studio.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is stop and go 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and US 1923 exit 3. An accident near Westgate Parkway has the right shoulder closed. 26 westbound is slow approaching Long Shoals Road to the Blue Ridge Parkway. Future 26 eastbound stop and go between Riverside Drive and 240. Smoky Park Highway moving well. On Sardis Road, moving from Sand Hill Road to Pond Road, traffic very busy. Sweeten Creek Road, north and southbound, approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. Hendersonville Road, north and southbound in the Oak Park area near Watson Road. Expect delays. I'm Lyman Fuel with your time saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Chucky.
A new season is coming, and with it, major delays being reported due to another killer doll with a shady plan. Just how many Chuckies are there? Chucky rises again, and this time he wants to take over the world and our freeways. Chucky Season 2 premieres October 5th, only on USA and Sci-Fi.
Are you seeing the telomeres here? Come here, look at the scope.
Dr. Ocasio's lab startup just discovered a gene therapy breakthrough.
The cells have already doubled.
He needs a fleet of research assistants before this breakthrough breaks them.
We need lab techs, research assistants.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
I hate the struggle of tough, greasy messes on my stovetop. So I just wipe, and I'm done.
When I'm frustrated with stubborn bathtub soap scum, I just wipe, and I'm done.
Mr. Clean Freak delivers an innovative cleaning experience with a powerful deep cleaning mist that starts working on contact to break down tough messes in seconds.
Just
wipe,
done.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelly Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville or call them at 828-365-1663.
The season we've all been waiting for is here. No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays.
Roots and wings. The 2 greatest gifts any parent can give their kid. But when it's time for them to head off to college, there's also groceries, laundry detergent, notebook paper, ironing instructions, and futons that assemble with parts left over. At Ingles, we have all the comforts of home right around the corner. We know that life's biggest steps are best taken with faith and trust in the ones you love the most. Ingles, all the ingredients for family.
The Sportsocracy.
These guys are a f***ing disgrace.
It's ESPN Asheville, and it is the Sportsocracy, heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app, seen everywhere on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel, get into the chat, and you can have your comments on the program highlighted. Just like, now I lost great setup, Tank. Way to go. It's that fog of Jeremy's sickness that he's passed on to me.
Did you accidentally drug yourself?
I did.
Yeah, you
did.
gave yourself NyQuil, didn't you?
I did.
This is going to be fun.
Just like the comment from Pennywise in the YouTube comments. Jeremy, I think you spelled Washington wrong for number 30. And I'm going to have to tend to agree with Pennywise on this one, because I feel like if they played today, that the Commanders would lose on a neutral field to the Carolina Panthers.
Okay, what is Jeremy's rule? Who has the better quarterback?
Oh, it's Washington.
Not close.
Yeah.
Who has the better coach?
Is
Washington, not close.
Yeah,
oh, okay. And the message, repeat the line.
Regrettedly.
Yeah, and the message, repeat the line. I did thoroughly enjoy that. Somebody wrote a story. It was an AP story about if Carolina went ahead and fired Matt Rule in season. Well, at least they have two experienced NFL coaches in Ben McAdoo and Steve Wilkes. Woof. You mean two of the worst head coaching hires in the last 10 years?
Yes.
That's like saying, well, if you bench your quarterback, at least you have Jamarcus Russell and Josh Rosen.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
All set up. Number 28, though, this week in the Week 5 power rankings, it is the Washington Commanders. This is a god-awful team.
Yeah, I look, I'm still not sure that they're not in the ballpark of the Dallas Cowboys, talent-wise, but good googly, that was awful.
Well, I mean, it's the protection. They could get no protection for Carson Wentz, and he was on his back the entire game against the Dallas Cowboys. And, they're just the Cowboys are playing better football right now. Washington just doesn't have it. It's, you were expecting, or you were hopeful, I guess, as a fan of the Commies, that you were going to have decent quarterback play from Carson Wentz.
And he's been fine.
The weapons were going to be good, and your defense was going to finally live up to the billing, and we haven't seen it.
No, it just hasn't been – it hasn't been good. But here's some – at the end of this year, you're probably going to have a new coach. You finally be rid of Jack Del Rio. Give it up for rid of Jack Del Rio, because that's – frankly, the biggest problem that you have. I think Sam Howell's the answer at quarterback.
I think he is.
I really do. I think he's the answer at quarterback. I feel like you have enough. I feel like you have enough on that defense that if you could find somebody to tie it together. The problem is that there's not many of those at the top of this draft, but there is one. And his name is Jalen Carter. And I don't care that he's been hurt. I don't care that you have a lot of talent on this team. I don't care. He's one of the best players in this draft.
Mm-hmm.
And that gives you just a force in the middle. But we already have two defensive tackles. I'm well aware of that. You have two defensive ends, too, and they can't seem to stay healthy. So Jalen Carter's a nice move piece. I'm not worried about the injury. I've been asked that a lot about Jalen Carter. Go back and watch the tape from last year. You'll figure it out pretty quick.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And keep in mind that he was probably the best player on that defense last year.
Mm-hmm.
And there were how many of them? 7 of them that went in the first 3 rounds of the NFL draft.
And trust me, I'm not alone. I think you'll see Sam Howell before this year's over. I really do. Because I'm not alone in the thought of he might be the best quarterback on this team.
Mm-hmm. Washington Commanders at number 28. Number 27. It's the New England Patriots.
Now, but what about Mac Jones?
What about him? I have never understood the Mac Jones thing. He's a fine college quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
He's just not built for the NFL.
He is a great version of Colt McCoy. Good for you. That's wonderful. That's doing stuff. It's not good enough if you don't have the weapons around him.
But we're scoring points. Okay. I mean, you've scored 50 points in the last 2 weeks. But that was against a Ravens team that I still can't figure out what the problem is there. Like, you should be way better than this.
The back half is very, very bad.
Which is crazy because they're all pros. And then the Green Bay Packers, okay, well, I can't explain that one either.
And my make you feel better, Patriots fans, player, his name is Quentin Johnston. He's a wide receiver out of TCU. And I'm becoming more and more confident by the day he's going to be the number one receiver that goes off in this class.
Really?
It's not that people don't like Njigba. We will discuss him before this is out, I promise. It's just he is so solid, everything. And there are a lot of people now looking at Njigba going, okay, why is it taking you so long to come back? And then you get into the wiry frame, and there's a lot of things that you start to get unnerved by. Okay, where you were protected by Olave, you were protected by Garrett Wilson, now you're protected by Marvin Harrison. What would you actually look like on a team like New England where you're the only guy?
Mm-hmm.
We'll look at Quentin Johnston because he might be the only guy, and he is indefensible.
And you think Quentin Johnston is the number one wide receiver in this next class?
I think it's trending that way.
Okay. Not Jordan Addison.
No, the problem with Jordan Addison is that you're going to look at him as, can you do this without an elite quarterback? Because you had Kenny Pickett last year. You got Caleb Williams now. And he's a great route runner, and I love him. I think he's more of a back end of the first-round guy because he's a good route runner, but you look around and go, okay, there are times that you are just wide open. And it gets a little difficult to forecast him.
In the vein of my, oh my, how wrong could we be? Number 26.
The New Orleans Saints.
Again, this is just not. It's not going well. It's not going well. I get that you're hurt right now. Jameis Winston dealing with 4 cracked vertebrae in his back or something, and
I don't think you're this bad. I really don't think you're this bad. I hate being wrong.
I know you hate being wrong.
I still don't think that I am. You just need a quarterback and maybe a coach because Dennis Allen's not good at this.
I mean, it was to the point where they were just like, Alvin Kamara could probably play, but it's not worth it.
You should have beat Minnesota. I mean, I firmly believe you're better than Carolina, but at the end of the day, you are what your record says you are. And I feel like there are a lot of things trending in the wrong direction for New Orleans. And I know we have railed on Oklahoma for hiring Brent Venables. We have railed on Denver for hiring Nathaniel Hackett. I think it's really time to look at New Orleans and go, I don't think you were prepared for Sean Payton to walk away.
Mm-hmm.
I think you thought you could convince him to stay. And when he did, just, Sean Payton or Dennis Allen, I mean, you're just right here. Just move over an office. You're not an NFL head coach.
I feel like part of that decision, though, was this is a placeholder. Because what was the original story was that Sean Payton's stepping away. He's taking time away. He's still under contract with the New Orleans Saints. So maybe they thought that Sean would step away for a year and he'd be like, you know what, I need to go back to coaching. And let me just get back into it. Let me take my office back. We're fine.
It is ironic that you said that because that had not even crossed my mind. And I had somebody that we'll say they have a real good history of being accurate that said verbatim that same thing to me. Watch Sean Payton. We talk about him with the Chargers. We talk about him with the Panthers. We talk about him with all these other places. Watch him just go, you know what? Why don't I go back to where I'm familiar?
Mm-hmm.
I took a year off one time before. I'm under contract. Maybe.
Yeah.
Not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying.
I'm going to believe that that's where the mindset of the front office was, okay, Sean needs time. Let's just let him take a year off. We'll put somebody in there that'll still stick around, even if Sean wants to come back. And we can slide Dennis Allen right back to the defensive coordinator position and all of that.
Yeah, it's like putting toothpaste back in the tube. You're not going to do that.
I think that might have been the thought is what I'm saying.
Yeah, you're not putting the toothpaste back in the tube there. This team is too talented. This team is too talented to be losing the way that they're losing. And I still believe that they're going to right the ship. I'm not telling you they're going to make the playoffs. I'm just telling you this is not the 8th, 7th worst team in the NFL. They're not. They're not, and I you know what? I will die on the shield. I will die on this hill. They are not this bad.
All right, we will crack the top 25 when we come back from the break. Plus, get weird. It's Week 5 Power Rankings here in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Well, the clouds are gone and some beautiful fall weather into the midweek forecast with crisp nighttime low temps, low 40s in the valley tonight, 30s with elevation again tonight. Sunshine Wednesday, high 70 degrees, and we'll keep the bright, beautiful fall sunshine Thursday and Friday with comfortable humidity, highs in the 70s, lows in the 40s. Weekend going to get cool again, high Saturday 60 degrees, low Saturday night 36. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is slow 240 westbound between Chuns Cove Road and US 1923 exit 3. An accident near Westgate Parkway has the right shoulder closed. 26 westbound slowing between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. On Four Seasons Boulevard in Hendersonville, an accident near Orrs Camp Road. Sweeten Creek Road southbound approaching Mills Gap Road delays. Hendersonville Road southbound slow between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Overlook Road. Again in the Oak Park area. Hendersonville Road southbound near Airport Road. An accident here. I'm Lee Minfield with Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. Your burrito prayers have been answered. Taco Bell's double steak grilled cheese burrito is back with that juicy steak smothered in nacho cheese with a 3-cheese blend that's grilled on top. At participating U.S. Taco Bell stores for a limited time only. Hours and participation vary. Double the steak claim as compared to the steak quesadilla.
You wash your hands and brush your teeth, but what about your nose? How do you clean your nose? With Navage. Navage pulls saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril, flushing out allergens, mucus, dirt, and germs, and it's why nose cleaning is the next evolution in daily personal hygiene. People try Navage for lots of reasons: sinusitis, allergies, snoring, things that make it hard to breathe through your nose. But over time, they also find that cleaning their nose makes them feel better, a lot better. Nearly 3 million Navage users have written more than 100,000 reviews, averaging 4.7 stars, saying things like, "Best product I've ever used," and "Amazing, I love my Navage." That's because Navage helps you breathe better, sleep deeper, and snore less. But the biggest payoff is improved health. Here's the key point. Navage is good personal hygiene, and it's going to help you stay healthier. At Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Bed Bath, Target, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
Are you ready to tackle your banking needs? Home Trust Bank's team of expert advisors and lenders want to be your teammate. We want to hear your story, learn your aspirations, and assist you with financial needs, and provide options that are tailored to you. With a wide range of personal, mortgage, and commercial services, you will discover all your banking needs under one roof with a local and personalized touch at Home Trust Bank. Score big with Home Trust Bank. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
Jeremy, you used to work for the United States Postal Service.
I did.
Would you say that was a great time in your life? Working at the post office.
I made a lot of wonderful friends.
Wonderful friends. Okay.
That is a very monotonous job, and God bless those people. Be nice to your postal people. Be sure to tip them at Christmas, okay? They deal with a lot of crap. Maybe don't record them on your stupid Ring doorbell. Be nice to your postal people.
Look,
right?
I don't know how high that might rank on your like when you're thinking about possible careers, working at the U.S. Postal Service or any post office for that matter. probably doesn't rank that high on your wish list of future jobs. But apparently, there are a lot of people that want to work at one specific post office. And this post office sounds like a nightmare. Something out of, I don't know, one of the worst horror movies I have ever dreamed of. Because it is roughly 9,000 miles away from anything relevant.
This is in Alaska, isn't
It is in Antarctica.
Oh.
Antarctica has a post office, and it's been closed since the coronavirus pandemic. But it is getting ready to open back up. And 4 lovely women have been chosen to work in said post office. It's in Port Lockroy on Goodyear Island, and they will be there spending the next 5 months in the post office, which is basically, it looks like an old school building. And I'm not talking like, an old industrial type school. I'm talking about like old Little House on the Prairie farm style school building without running water or a flushing toilet. For the next 5 months, they will be handling all of the letters and such that come in, which I'm not sure who you're writing to, because I don't know how many people actually live in Antarctica to receive said mail. But apparently there's somewhere in the neighborhood of like 80,000 cards and letters that get sent every year to this post office. From over 100 companies, countries. And I guess that they're just writing for the penguins, because the island is mostly inhabited by penguins. And these 4 women were chosen out of a record number of people who wanted this job. Would you like to take a guess at how many queries they got, applications they got to work at this post office?
I'm going to say a lot. A whole lot.
It was 6,000.
So I'll tell you a fun story. When I was at the post office, one of the most attractive routes, it was one of the hardest to get, was in Alaska, because the route was like 175 miles long.
Oh my gosh.
Well, they paid you 59 cents a mile.
Oh, well, that
round trip to drive your car. So you made a buku of money. And there were like 9 houses on the entire route. Very nice, simple job.
One of the women that's going to be working in this, she's a newlywed. And I have to ask, how bad has your marriage have to start before you go, yeah, I want to go live in, negative 30-degree weather by myself with 3 other women without my new husband? It has to be going way downhill for that. But she says she's considering it a solo honeymoon. She's 31 years old. And she says she's been relishing the opportunity to work on the island. Quote, who wouldn't want to spend 5 months working on an island filled with penguins in one of the most remote places on the planet? Me?
Yeah, I'm out.
Me? I'm out.
Yeah, I don't do cold.
No good. No good. Dealing with sub-zero temperatures, almost constant daylight. And there's all the penguins. Look, I get you might like penguins. You might think they're fun little birds, but they're really just controlled by the government.
100%. Hashtag birds are real.
It just baffles me that 6,000 people wanted this job to go live in the middle of nowhere. Literally, the middle of nowhere.
The Oklahoma City Police Department encountered a very strange missing animal recently. It was a wolf. It was a wolf just walking down the side of the road. Hi, Mr. Wolf.
Nice.
And when they got to him, animal control, all the things, they noticed he's wearing a collar. The wolf is wearing a collar.
Okay.
And when they radioed this in, they told the responding officers that there had been a missing animal report from a resident of Oklahoma City, that his dog, which is 85% wolf, 15% Malamute, had gone missing because he got out of his enclosure. It's the same thing. They reunited him. Hey, here's your wolf dog. He said, it's not that weird that I have it. The wolf dog was apparently friendly to the ones that returned it. And his owner said, he's like a cuddly puppy. He's wolf. That's wolf. That's not a dog. That's not a dog.
No, that eats dogs.
100%. That's a wolf. And stop possessing weird animals. A wolf is not a dog. I mean, technically, I know.
Mm-hmm. If a hyena is a dog, then a wolf is a dog.
Dog. Stop having things that can eat you.
Yeah, that's
alligators and wolves and
tigers.
That's my story in the third hour might be about a specific tiger. Interesting. And it's very famous wrangler.
Ah, okay. Please tell me it's Joe. Yeah, we get a Joe update. Love it.
Joe's still doing stuff.
Yeah, whatever happened to that guy? Kevin Vick wants to know, was it Mr. Wolf after the NC State game? We're really not sure what happened to him.
I believe he was sitting next to me at a bar having domestic lights.
100%.
He was not very happy about how that ended.
Game like that'll drive you to drinking. Although, I mean, it's NC State football, so yeah, that'll drive you to drinking.
It's okay. You get Florida State this weekend. I haven't even done bangers yet. I can already tell you that's going to be one of them.
We continue with the Week 5 power rankings in the NFL. We left off with the New Orleans Saints last. And here's another one. We thought there's a chance this team might be good.
I don't know where that we came from. Unless you got a mouse in your pocket, there is no we here.
Come on. Even in the preseason, you thought this was still going to be an okay team.
I said it was the fourth best team in this division, and I was right.
Yeah, but it's far worse than I expected, clearly.
The Denver Broncos.
Denver Broncos. They've lost Javonte Williams to a major knee injury for the rest of the season. Now Randy Gregory is on IR. Russell Wilson's cooking. It's not going to make any cookbooks at any time soon.
Nope. Cereal with hot dogs in it. Let's go. I mean, and I would give you a player that you could be targeting, except, oh, wait.
You don't have a draft pick.
The Seattle Seahawks have your draft pick. Speaking of Seattle.
So in the second round, you don't have a second rounder that they could get?
They don't have a second round pick either.
Oh.
They traded that.
Oh, that's right. How about third round? You're not deep diving enough yet?
I mean, I am, but who cares? You're adding a third round pick expecting that to change your fortunes. No, here's what you should do. Look at Nathaniel Hackett and go, we boo-booed that. Really badly. I don't know that I've ever seen an NFL head coach through 4 games that I just went, you're not an NFL head coach.
Mm-hmm.
You do not, this is not a job for you.
Cliff Kingsbury.
And he lasted much longer. He lasted much longer than Nathaniel Hackett's going to.
Number 24.
The Seattle Seahawks.
Geno Smith. That's all I got. I mean, I can't explain it. Geno Smith looks like a decent quarterback. Something that I'm pretty sure he's not.
I mean, he's not. He's not a great quarterback. But listen to what Pete Carroll said. He said it time and time and time again. We do not feel like there is a huge drop-off from Russell Wilson to Geno Smith. And guess what? Through 4 games, Geno Smith's been the better quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a level. I don't think this team's taking a quarterback with either of those 2 picks.
Really?
I don't think they care. Pete's obviously here for the long haul. I know he's 70 years old, but he's 70 and he looks like he's 50. I don't know that this team goes quarterback. Everybody that I have talked to has said, look, they fully believe they can win with this ball control, with Ken Walker and Rashad Penny having the receivers on the outside that terrify you. They just scored 48 points in an NFL game.
Mm-hmm.
You know how many other teams in the NFL have done that this year? 0. End of message. Repeat the line. I'm not so sure this team takes a quarterback. I know that sounds absolutely insane.
It does.
Russell Wilson with a third-round pick. They got very lucky that he was a great third-round pick.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure they take a quarterback.
When was the last time?
We thought they were going to in the draft this year. Did they do it?
I was going to say, when was the last time they took a quarterback in the first round? Was it Rick Myrer?
I believe that was so bad that they went, well, we're just never going to do this again.
It's a giant gamble. It is a major gamble when you take a quarterback in the first round. I mean, very few years have you ever had there's an A number one. Andrew Luck, Trevor Lawrence. Repeat the message, I guess.
I mean, here's the thing. You got a Seahawks team that's obviously going to win more games than you thought. You're probably going to be picking from the fourth one because based on where they're at here, you're not going to get a shot at C.J. Stroud. You won't get a shot at Bryce Young. You won't get a shot at Will Levis.
Nope.
So now you're talking about Anthony Richardson. Does that strike you as something Pete Carroll's going to do?
No.
No. Take your value in Geno Smith, build the team around him. Now, is it a three-dimensional chess way of doing this? Absolutely, but you have a lot of draft capital.
Mm-hmm. Wow. At number 23?
The New York Giants.
The Giants are 3-1. But, I mean, this is the high water mark, right?
Well, you're also god-awful at quarterback. I mean, at the end of the day, you are a terrible team at quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to bite you. You're in a bad division, which is why you're going to win more games than you should. I don't believe in any team in this division outside of the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, do I think Brian Daboll's doing things? Yes, I do. I think he's building a culture there. This team's going to win close games. They're going to win gross games. I just don't think you're very talented. I mean, your quarterback is Daniel Jones, and your number one wide receiver is Kadarius Toney, who you just seem absolutely averse to playing ever.
Mm-hmm.
Wan'Dale Robinson can't get on the field. Kenny Golladay is awful. Oh, fun stat. Since Kenny Golladay showed up with the New York Giants, he has exactly one less touchdown catch than Zach Wilson. Oh, I can't wait to throw that one at Brian Haynes during Mullet the Dude tomorrow.
Oh, and of course it's uncensored on the YouTube only.
Which means he will probably tell me to do something to myself that's not nice.
100%. 100%. New York Giants, though, yes, you are 3-1. But I will be surprised if you are not 3-4 after the next 3 weeks when you go at the Packers, then you get the Ravens at home, and then go to the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to come crashing back down to earth. Let's please stop with the overreactions with this Giants team. We all know you're still in the same position. The best thing that has happened this year, offensive line has been better, and Saquon Barkley looks like he's back to form.
Fun story. According to the current Vegas line, who is the favorite to lead the NFL in rushing yards?
I'm going to guess it's Saquon.
It's Saquon Barkley. By a lot.
By a lot?
By a lot. I was dumbfounded when I found that out this morning. And I'll be honest with you, as soon as I saw it, I went, I can't invalidate that. No. I cannot invalidate that because every team you've played so far has known exactly what you're doing, and he has been just fine.
I would say
there is not another running back on that team. Do not throw Matt Breida at me.
Nick Chubb's got to be close.
Chubb was 4, I think.
Okay.
Jonathan Taylor was 2. Derrick Henry was 3.
Well, we know that I think Jonathan Taylor's out the window now.
Don't be so sure of that.
Really?
Don't be so sure of that.
They can turn it around, I guess.
Just because it hasn't started well. Look, a lot of teams in the NFL have split backfields. If I remember the stat correctly, I think there were 9 players last year that rushed for 1,000 yards. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Jonathan Taylor's still the most talented running back in the league, and Derrick Henry's a very close to.
All right, just ahead of the New York Giants in the Week 5 power rankings, it is the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, I have the Cleveland Browns behind the Atlanta Falcons. You know why? Because you just lost to them.
Mm-hmm.
But we didn't have Myles Garrett. I don't care. I mean, they don't have a pass rusher. I'm sure a lot of people are going to say, well, you have the Falcons rated too highly. No, I don't. Let me tell you why. Because they're winning the grossest way possible. Cleveland's very talented, and with Deshaun Watson, you would be fine. The schedule does you no favors. And I'm not sure that by the time he comes back that you're not completely irrelevant. Year from now, Cleveland Browns probably a top 10 team in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
With Jacoby Brissett and Amari Cooper, it is going to be horribly inconsistent, and you're going to lose games like you just lost. I said all week long, I do not understand this line at all. How are the Browns only a 1-point favorite? Vegas has goal faucets for a reason. That's all there is to it. They saw what I didn't see is that the Atlanta Falcons win games in a gross way. And that's why they are my number 21 team. They have 2 corners that can shut down to a point your high-end receivers. They don't get after the quarterback. Kyle Pitts has been largely irrelevant. And you know what they do? Next man up, they find a way to beat you. Do I think this team's good? No. Do I think any of the other 12 teams on this screen are good? No, they're not. They're all bad. I just feel like Atlanta's bought in a way that no team below them is. Atlanta and Seattle are two teams that are going to win way more games than they should. Which, if you had told me that before the year, I would have said, you are doing recreational things, aren't you?
Week 5 power rankings roll on here in the Sportsocracy. We'll crack the top 20 coming up next.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic slowing 240 westbound near Westgate Parkway. An accident has the right shoulder closed. 26 westbound slow west of Airport Road to the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 eastbound slowing between Bavard Road and the French Broad River. Near Inca Village, Sardis Road moving from Sand Hill Road to Pond Road. Traffic is slow. Sweeten Creek Road southbound slow between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Mills Gap Road. Hendersonville Road southbound slow between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Overlook Road. Again, Hendersonville Road southbound is slow between Airport Road and Watson Road in the Oak Park area. I'm Lee Benfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. Your burrito prayers have been answered. Taco Bell's double steak grilled cheese burrito is back with that juicy steak smothered in nacho cheese with a 3-cheese blend that's grilled on top. At participating U.S. Taco Bell stores for a limited time only. Hours and participation vary. Double the steak claim as compared to the steak quesadilla.
A new season is coming, and with it, major delays being reported due to another killer doll with a shady plan. Just how many Chuckies are there? Chucky rises again, and this time he wants to take over the world and our freeways. Chucky Season 2 premieres October 5th, only on USA and Sci-Fi.
Wendy's new French toast sticks are so delicious, some are saying that they're better than their mom's breakfast.
Excuse me, did you just say Wendy's new French toast sticks are better than my breakfast?
Mom, is that you?
Answer the question.
I said some people are saying that because they're so crispy on the outside and fluffy on the inside and perfect in every way.
Uh-huh. And what do you think?
I think it's time to tell people to choose wisely. Choose Wendy's new sweet and crispy home-style French toast sticks.
That's still not an answer.
At participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
Dancing crew, trip for 2, nail the final interview. Game with Doug, brand new mug. Come here, kid, give me a hug. The more you want to do, the more we want to do. Boosters designed for COVID-19 variants are now available. If you've had your primary series, schedule an updated COVID-19 booster appointment as soon as you're eligible. Sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech.
When I finally drove the old car into the grave, I knew there was only one place I was going to go. Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville, home of the family plan. And yes, they treat you like family. I went in, told them what I was looking for, told them my budget, and in no time, I was signing the paperwork on my certified pre-owned vehicle. They have the area's largest selection on quality pre-owned vehicles and certified Nissans. They go through a 167-point inspection, so you know it's not going to let you down. They gave me the Carfax report, so I know the history of my vehicle. And the Fred Anderson family plan gives me things like oil changes and car washes and loaner cars if I have to have major work done on the car in the future. For me, buying a car has always been an intimidating thought. But the folks at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville made it super easy. Don't be like me. Don't wait till the last minute to get a deal done. Go to AndersonNissan.com or stop by the showroom at 629 Brevard Road. And don't forget to mention we sent you from the Sportsocracy and get a $250 bonus on your trade-in at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
The season we've all been waiting for is here. No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in Western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, coming to you from the Ingles Studio. Week 5 power rankings roll on, and we are into the top 20. Next hour, we will get through the top half of the league, 16 through 1, and at number 20,
the Arizona Cardinals.
Are you a little more hopeful on the Cardinals than you were earlier in the season, or do you still think this is just a dog water team?
They can beat bad teams. I mean, that's once you get into the late teens, you're into the all right. You're not going to be anybody good. They play the Eagles this week. Good luck with that.
Yeah, going to be fun.
This is not going to go your way. At the Seahawks next week, I'm not so sure that's going to go your way. But you can beat bad teams. Mm-hmm. I think it's a poorly coached team. I don't love Kyler Murray, but you can put up points.
Well, here you go. You're 2-2 through the first 4 weeks of the season. You got 2 more weeks to go, and you'll get DeAndre Hopkins back, and
which will help. But I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. The problem with this team has not been weapons anyway.
No.
Greg Dortch was useful. They played more 2 tight end sets this week, which allowed Zach Ertz, Max Williams, and Trey McBride. That's not the problem. The problem is you can't stop anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Back half, you play good teams. You can't stop them. The Rams were not prodigious against them. They just shut you down.
Mm-hmm.
They have more talent than you do.
Yep.
You're a mediocre team. That's the Arizona Cardinals scream 7-10, 8-9, 9-8 to me. Can you make the playoffs doing that? Sure, but you're going to have to win a couple games that you're not supposed to.
Yep. At number 19,
the Detroit Lions.
At the
end of the day, they're still 1-3. You got to learn how to win games.
Yeah, I want this team to be better than this, but when you give up 48 points to Geno Smith and the Seattle Seahawks, it's tough to have you any higher. They can score boatloads, and I didn't think they were going to be able to after all their weapons were out. But they still found a way. So the offense obviously is going to be great once all the weapons are healthy.
Mm-hmm. And the problem with Detroit is they don't have defense.
Yep.
I mean, you can't stop anybody. That defense is disgusting. But you get into shootouts, and you have all the ammo you could possibly need. You just do.
Mm-hmm.
It's a talented team, but you're going to have to learn how to win.
Yep. Number 18.
I've already heard #NoHomer at this, and I'm going to tell you, I'm not even the highest on them. The New York Jets, Jets.
The Jets are 2-2 after the first 4 weeks of the season, giving Jeremy a little hope.
The Jets are the easiest over on their preseason line of any team in the NFL. They were 5.5.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they would start 0-4. And I'll be honest with you, if you haven't watched this team, you don't realize how talented they are. They have the best corner tandem in the league.
Mm-hmm.
There is no team, and that's not my opinion. That is a statistical analysis of they have the best cornerback tandem in the league. And that's going against Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, the grossness of Jacoby Brissett and the Steelers. I get that.
Mm-hmm.
It's a talented team. It's a very talented team. The offense is hard to stop. And your line has been a joke, and you're still 2-2.
Yep.
People say that's too high. That's fine. Go down every other power ranking you'll see. If you see them below 22, they're out of their minds.
It's a very talented team. Still have to figure out how to win games.
And that's actually the reason they're as high as they are, is because they've won 2 games that they had no business winning. And when I see young teams do that, that tells me something.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying they're great. They're not. And they could easily be down in the mid-20s next week. Wouldn't shock me in the least. They're going to be more difficult for the Dolphins than you think. Mark my words.
I think it's all going to depend on your quarterback. And at the top of the bottom, it is the Indianapolis Colts, the most disappointing team in the NFL outside of the New Orleans Saints.
And I just look at Indianapolis and go, if you can get Jonathan Taylor going and get healthy, the schedule still lays – the Colts and the Eagles were the 2 teams that had the schedules that laid out so nicely. I think having them much further down than that, you're doing at your own peril.
Sports Center updates coming up next. Then we go 16-1 in a Week 5 Power Rankings.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Well, the clouds are gone and some beautiful fall weather into the midweek forecast with crisp nighttime low temps, low 40s in the valley tonight, 30s with elevation again tonight. Sunshine Wednesday, high 70 degrees, and we'll keep the bright, beautiful fall sunshine Thursday and Friday with comfortable humidity, highs in the 70s, lows in the 40s. Weekend's going to get cool again. High Saturday, 60 degrees. Low Saturday night, 36. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic slowing 240 westbound near Westgate Parkway. An accident has the right shoulder closed. 26 westbound slow west of Airport Road to the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 eastbound slowing between Bavard Road and the French Broad River. Near Inca Village, Sardis Road moving from Sand Hill Road to Pond Road. Traffic is slow. Sweeten Creek Road southbound slow between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Mills Gap Road. Hendersonville Road southbound slow between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Overlook Road. Again, Hendersonville Road southbound is slow between Airport Road and
This
Watson
report
Road
is sponsored by Lowe's. At Lowe's, every pro is an MVP to us. MVP's Pro Rewards members visit Lowe's now and earn bonus points on products and brands like DeWalt. Then redeem for Lowe's e-gift cards and more. Bonus points calculated before taxes and fees. After applicable discounts, if any. Subject to program terms. Visit Lowes.com/MVP bonus points for details. Now through 10/28.
Hi, I'm Chad Greenway. After retiring from the NFL, I've embraced my new role coaching my kids in their youth sports. Our Youth Basketball Association made the decision to use trusted coaches to train, screen, and educate all of our basketball coaches. Visit trustedcoaches.org to learn more. I'm a trusted coach. Are you?
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. The Aaron Judge watch will continue. He went 1 for 5 in the opener of today's doubleheader in Texas with a single. He remains at 61 home runs, one away from setting an AL single-season home run record. Yankees did beat the Rangers 5-4. The Steelers moving forward with rookie Kenny Pickett. The rookie will make his first NFL start against the Bills on Sunday. After Pickett replaced a struggling Mitch Trubisky in the Week 4 loss to the Jets, the Steelers had to stay with their first-round pick, believes ESPN's Jeff Saturday.
Once you made the change last weekend, I'm assuming you do not want to put Mitch Trubisky back in the game after you've gone with your first-round pick and everybody's been awaiting his arrival.
Jeff Saturday on Barton Hahn. Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa speaking with the NFL and NFLPA today as part of their review of how his concussion evaluation was handled during and after the Week 3 win over the Bills. Colts running back Jonathan Taylor hoping that he'll be able to play against the Broncos on Thursday night despite an injured ankle. Taylor said today he's seen definite improvement since twisting the ankle in Sunday's loss.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
To me, this team is exceeding expectations. They're 3-1 right now. I mean, in the best case scenario, what would we have said New York was going to win? 6 games, 7 games?
This and more. Wednesday morning at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets and Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
It is the Sportsocracy, heard everywhere on the iHeart Radio app and seen everywhere on YouTube. We come to you live from the Ingles Studio here on 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. And don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. All you got to do is go to thesportsocracy.com, click on that live video link, subscribe to get yourself into the chat. Give us a like while you're here.
We've got a nice little commercial sounding board now where you can throw out your super chats. You got a little sound effect, all the good things, so you can be heard. And the people that rewatch this can hear what you have to say.
Jeremy Greene not only bringing us all the knowledge and outlandish takes that he can, but doing a bang-up job with all of the graphics and such on the YouTube stream.
I have a particular set of skills.
You do. You do. You're very good at it, sir, and we're glad you're doing it with us here in the Sportsocracy. We are in the midst of the Week 5 power rankings in the NFL. We've gone through the bottom teams. Now it's time to give you the top of the league, and it all starts off at number 16.
The Dallas Cowboys.
Look, people are still buying into the Dallas Cowboys. It's all about the name. Everybody's going to overhype this team, and the fact that they are 3-1 with a backup quarterback, people are losing their minds and thinking, oh, my God, this is a really great team. It's not a great team. I'm not sure it's not a good team. The defense, I mean, they have their high points. They have their high points, and they have been able to beat up on some bad teams.
Yeah, the Giants and the Commanders.
Mm-hmm.
But we beat the Bengals. So did the Pittsburgh Steelers. And you beat them at home. Come talk to me after these 2 dates with the Rams and the Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
I have a feeling it's not going to go your way.
No, it's
and
not.
I don't care if Dak Prescott plays or not. I have to put them here because, be frank, what team in the bottom 16 do you actually know who they are?
None of them.
There were several teams that people said, oh, you're too high on them. I don't overreact to things. That's my objective. I set these every week, and I try not to move anybody by more than 5 spots based on 1 week. And you get to a certain point where you just go, you know what? This team has a high motor or a lot of effort or whatever the case may be. Doesn't mean you're not going to move down in a week.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I'm at right now. It's the beauty of power rankings.
Yep. The Dallas Cowboys will fall over the next 2 weeks. And
95% of the money in Vegas in the early on the early line at the Rams is on Dallas. Wow. Vegas has goal fixtures for a reason. Because this is one of those times that they're just going to take all of your dollars and put them in a big pile and jump into them like Scrooge McDuck.
Well, let me ask this. What's the line?
3.5.
Oh, so it's not a crazy line. So it's not like LA Rams minus 8.5 and everybody's just loading up. Because I would think I would probably throw a shekel at that if it was too high. Because the Rams haven't looked dominant against anybody they played yet. So, but the fact that it's close like that and still all that money is on the Dallas Cowboys, it's concerning. But again, it's a team that I don't feel like anybody can be rational about.
No.
Because you're either a Dallas Cowboys sympathizer or fan, and you can't be trusted to be objective about this team, and then everybody else hates the Dallas Cowboys. So they're obviously going to be lower. Nobody can be objective about this team. And they're just a lightning rod.
And that's fine. They're also not good.
No.
And I'm telling you right now, if Micah Parsons got abducted by space aliens, you have a bottom 5 defense in the NFL. You should thank God for that guy every single day because he is the only person that consistently gets to the quarterback. And before you say DeMarcus Lawrence, look at his pass rush win rate when Micah Parsons is on the sideline.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's 5 or 6 points higher than mine.
Wow.
So it all runs through Micah Parsons. You're too dependent on one player. I don't like the back half of that, and I think you're going to see it in the next 2 weeks.
I'm really sick and tired of seeing, the NFC East is still a race. Is it, though?
No, it's not.
It's not. Dallas Cowboys, congratulations, you beat the Giants and the Commanders. You're not even in the same county as the Philadelphia Eagles.
I'm thinking of the meme of the guy that cracks open the champagne bottle with his teeth, and then they zoom out, and he's 14th.
Like Major League Baseball and the chase for the New York Yankees single-season home run record.
Breaking news. Still hadn't broken it.
Of course he hasn't.
I don't think I've ever wanted anything to not happen so bad. Just everybody that faces him, walk him. So I can sit back and laugh hysterically.
The only other person rooting for his failure more than you is Roger Maris Jr., because then he becomes completely irrelevant after Aaron Judge breaks his daddy's record.
At Sports Tank ESPN.
Next up, it's the Raiders.
The Las Vegas Raiders. But they're 1-3. I'm well aware of that.
But they're still super talented. And, I mean, I still don't think their coach is great. But I can see some fireworks still ahead for this team.
I think you'll learn a lot Monday night against the Chiefs. They're not going to win. Question is, do you get killed?
There's a great possibility of that.
There is. And if you do, this could go off the rails.
Because I don't see that secondary being able to stand up to Patrick Mahomes. I don't feel like you're going to get much pressure on them. And
the unsettling thing is that Chandler Jones has been completely irrelevant.
Mm-hmm. And
Max Crosby has 4 of the 5 sacks that this team has. The other is a corner.
Mm-hmm.
No team could sustain that.
And you won't be able to run the ball like you did this past week with Josh Jacobs.
I'm not as sure of that.
Really?
This is one of those times that I feel like the public, and look, I like Kansas City, trust me, the number next to their name is very, very low. I just feel like maybe you're seeing what you want to see because, yes, they beat a Bucs team that I do not believe in, that was displaced by a hurricane. Yeah, you put up a lot of points. Pat Mahomes is special. I don't dispute any of that.
Mm-hmm.
You beat a Chargers team that I'm believing in less by the day and you beat a Cardinals team that I've never believed in. I think you're seeing what you want to see. This is one of those times that the public is jumping off. I've seen the Chiefs at 1 in a slew of power rankings. I can't wrap my head around that. I was high on them anyway. I said I actually think this offense is better without Tyreek Hill because now you have no idea where it's coming from. A team like the Bucs, you can shut down one receiver. Who do you shut down?
It wasn't Travis Kelce.
You have no clue. Well, you couldn't shut him down anyway.
That's true.
Devin White, you're starting to say, okay, it's just one of those things.
He's not good in coverage. I get it.
I feel like Kansas City is getting overhyped.
Mm-hmm.
They're very, very good. And if you tell me they wound up in the Super Bowl, I will not be shocked. Let's calm down on, they've been just such a juggernaut. Cardinals, Chargers, Bucks. All right. None of those in my top 10, just throwing it out there.
It was good to finally see Josh Jacobs come up with that pop game. But the question is, can they sustain it? And I just don't know. I still don't know. But at 1-3, I get that people say this is one of the worst teams in the league. Are they, though? Are they really one of the worst teams in the league? I still believe.
Oh, I mean, the talent's otherworldly. And Zion in our YouTube comments said the Raiders should be behind the Cowboys. Ask yourself this. If they played on a neutral field right now, you had to bet your house on it. Who you taking?
It's Raiders, not close.
For me, I agree with you wholeheartedly.
And
Trayvon Diggs on Devontae Adams. Okay, let's just say I did figure something out because he just abused Pat Surtain, who is a better corner than Trayvon Diggs, and it's not debatable.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they would cause the Las Vegas Raiders problems because they don't have a good offensive line.
No, but I look, talent wins out in this league. The Raiders have a ton of it. Chandler Jones stays upright. He's not going to be this relevant all year, and that completely changes that defense.
Mm-hmm. At number 14, it's the Tennessee Titans. Jeremy finally came around last week and admitted that Mike Vrabel is a good coach in this league. We're seeing Derrick Henry come around. They're getting more comfortable. It's after the snow. The first snow of the season has already fallen.
Which means Derrick Henry is about to become, Barry Sanders 2.0.
And they're sitting at 2-2, having won their last 2 games. The Commanders are up next, and you will destroy them.
Yeah.
Or should.
I mean, be real honest with yourself. Commanders, Colts, Texans, that should be 3 wins.
Yeah.
This team could be sitting at 5-2, and those 2 opening losses to the Giants and getting slaughtered by the Bills will seem long, long ago.
I do feel like you have to find something in the passing game. Everybody flipped out, and when I say everybody, I'm talking about like Tennessee Titans fandom, flipped out when Robert Woods finally got a touchdown. Like, yeah, but you still don't have any rhythm in the passing game.
No. And this is one of those things where the schedule sets up so nicely for the Titans. You got 3 weeks to get healthy in games that you really have no excuse to lose. Now, you just beat Indianapolis in Indianapolis. There's no excuse for you to lose to them at home.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can get healthy, get Traylon Burks back, I mean, this is one of those teams that – are they more talented than the Raiders? No. Do I think they're better coached? Yes. And institutionally, they're far superior to the Raiders. So it's just one of those that you kind of have to believe in.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm going to say the same thing I said yesterday. If you told me a team that's not the Jacksonville Jaguars wins the AFC South, it's the Titans, and I would bet my ability to have fun on it for the rest of my life.
Yep, and you will not be seeing the Jacksonville Jaguars for a few teams here on the Week 5 Power Rankings, shockingly enough to say. But it has finally happened. The Jaguars are relevant once again. Next up on the Power Rankings, in number 13, it is
the Minnesota Vikings.
Mm-hmm. Justin Jefferson, he a dog.
He's good at the footballs. And if you really look at Minnesota, they haven't played particularly well.
They have not.
I mean, they got housed by the Eagles. But outside of that, you're 3-1. You beat a Lions team in a game that you should not have won. You beat a Saints team in a game that I could argue you shouldn't have won. And now you got to get right game with the Bears before you take on the Dolphins, before 2 not layups, but Cardinals and the Commanders.
Mm-hmm.
The schedule laid out nicely for the Vikings, too, to get acclimated with that defense, Kevin O'Connell some games under his belt as the guy making the calls, and Kirk Cousins is still a good NFL quarterback.
Yes, he is.
Now, where this could go awry is that game at the Bills. You remember what happened when you played Philadelphia? They might make that look like a Tonka toy because Tre'Davious White will be back for that, and we could really see where you fall in the – I think there is a huge drop-off, and when we get there in the power rankings, I'll tell you where it happens.
We'll get into the top 12 up next right here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic slow 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 westbound slowing between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Light delays 26 eastbound between Long Shoals Road and Airport Road. Near Inca Village, Sardis Road moving from Sand Hill Road to Bavard Road is slow. Near Avery Creek, Bavard Road north and southbound near Long Shoals Road is slow. Again, Bavard Road northbound is slow between Clayton Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway near the NC Arboretum. Hendersonville Road southbound is slow between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Overlook Road. Sweeten Creek Road southbound is slow approaching Mills Gap Road. I'm Lee Benfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by News Nation. Chris Cuomo is back with a new show on a new network. Catch Cuomo weeknights on News Nation at 8, 7 Central. To find News Nation on your television provider, go to newsnationnow.com/join us.
The United States Constitution says you have a right to keep and bear arms. That's a quote. It's plain English. But Sherry Beasley opposes your right to self-defense. Beasley was a liberal activist judge. She supports banning firearms and magazines that are owned by tens of millions of law-abiding Americans. Beasley wants to criminalize the private transfer of firearms. That means trading or even loaning guns to your own extended family would require government permission every time. That's how Beasley got endorsed by radical gun control groups. But Ted Budd, he defends your rights. Ted Budd is A-rated and endorsed by the NRA. Ted Budd knows North Carolina gun owners because he is a North Carolina gun owner, firearms dealer, and instructor. Vote freedom first. Elect Ted Budd, U.S. Senate. NRA Victory Fund, Inc. paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. 11250 Waples Mill Road, Fairfax, Virginia, 22030.
The season we've all been waiting for is here. No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in Western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I am Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Are you ready to tackle your banking needs? Home Trust Bank's team of expert advisors and lenders want to be your teammate. We want to hear your story, learn your aspirations, and assist you with financial needs, and provide options that are tailored to you. With a wide range of personal, mortgage, and commercial services, you will discover all your banking needs under one roof with a local and personalized touch at Home Trust Bank. Score big with Home Trust Bank. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
The Sportsocracy.
The ceiling is the roof. Let's make it happen. Let's keep moving forward.
We continue here in the Sportsocracy on the Week 5 Power Rankings in the NFL. Number 12, it's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I mean, these are my rankings. Yeah. You are under the weather with the Jeremy flu.
Yeah. I mean, I'd obviously, me being the homer that I am, I feel like we're a little low on this list. There are a couple of teams that are you got ranked ahead of us that I think we're better than. Especially with the weapons coming back. The offense finally showed some life this past week.
Against that Kansas City team that I just talked about.
I get it. I get your and we know that the defense is not the strong suit of the Kansas City Chiefs. It never has been. So they're going to play a lot of shootout games, and they could make some teams look better. But do you honestly think that this is an offense that's just completely listless?
I don't think it's listless. I think you're a very wonderful ship that's captained by a penguin. And so when it hits rocks, I'm not surprised. I'm telling you right now, I did this with Todd Bowles.
Mm-hmm.
I have never been so tired of an NFL head coach. I'm a Jets fan, all right? I lived through Rich Kotite, Bruce Coslett, Herman Edwards, Rex Ryan, and Adam Gase. I have never been more tired of a coach than I was Todd Bowles because the team was so talented, and I watched him just have no ability to use the talent that you had. Your argument to me was that, well, Tom's just going to champion all this. 4 weeks in, do you feel like that's happening?
No.
There you go.
I do feel like something changed this past week, but maybe it was just because they were behind. I mean, you get behind by 2 scores to the Kansas City Chiefs. You got no reason to run the ball. You got no reason to do anything other than throw.
Running the ball 6 times in an NFL game is stupid. You'll never convince me otherwise. I don't care why. I don't care if you don't have a running back. Run a tight end. Run the kicker. I don't care.
But why would you if it's not working? That's my question.
How would you know? How would you have any idea? You ran the ball 6 times. I would kill to know the stat of in NFL games in the last 20 years that you ran less than 10 times. What is the win-loss record of the teams that have done that? Because I can think of 4 instances. All 4 were losses, and 3 of them were absolute annihilations.
Mm-hmm.
That's not putting yourself in a position to win. You're playing a team that's better than you anyway, and anybody would admit that. And then you come in with a game plan like that. I don't care what happened. I don't care what happened in the game. I'm looking at the coach going, so we got this far off script that we ran the ball 6 times with a 45-year-old quarterback. Let me know how that works out for you. And defensively, I flat out don't think you're very good. I don't. I think it's going to be an inconsistent pass rush. If you look at the analytics on Tryon Shoyinka, not been particularly good. Shaquille Barrett's been fine, but he's getting double-teamed at a exponentially higher rate than he's used to. Injuries have been a
nightmare.
That's probably the only word I could use there. And I'm sure a lot of people will say, oh, Tampa's too low. I will happily listen to any team that's in front of them that you want to tell me they would beat.
Well, here comes the first one. It's the Los Angeles Chargers. Number 11 on the power rankings, and I think that's the first one.
And I'm going to say I disagree with you.
You think they've figured it out?
I'm not going to say they've figured it out.
Their early season struggles are behind them now.
I'm not going to say they figured it out. I don't know how you'd stop them. I mean, you take the Jacksonville game away, and the offense has been good to great the vast majority of the time. When they're healthy and you have Bosa and Mack, which obviously you don't have that right now, and I'm well aware of that.
Right.
I still think that team's dynamic. I think that team's figuring out a lot of things, and they've had more injury issues than people want to give them credit for. The Chargers are one of the few teams that I look at and go, you have another gear that if you hit it, you could be a Super Bowl contender.
That's a big if, though.
Oh, it's a huge if. But you got to understand, I'm mitigating risk here. I will be 100% honest with you. I do not see a path the Tampa Bay Buccaneers can win a Super Bowl. None.
Oh, I don't either.
Brady's superhuman. Yeah, he's been superhuman for 4 weeks. How's that worked out? 2-2. And that's just kind of what I feel like this team is. I feel it's poorly coached. And outside of Tom, you can't really give me anything that you like. I struggle with that. You get into the top 10 in the NFL, there's multiple things I like about all of these teams. Tampa, it's Brady. With the Chargers, in large part, it's been the offense. But I look at the talent on the defense and go, okay, there's a gear there. I can't tell you you're going to find it, but there's a gear there that if you do find it, you could make me look like a moron.
Yep. Los Angeles Chargers at number 11. Number 10, it's the Miami Dolphins, and that's the second one.
Sorry. You actually think you could defend Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle?
I think we could beat them. I think we would beat them.
I thought I was low on the Dolphins, and I very well may be.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not giving a ton of credence to what I have seen them do so far. I watched a Baltimore Ravens team absolutely melt on itself,
mm-hmm.
and I watched you get demolished by the Bills. They just couldn't score, and they could not stop turning the ball over.
Mm-hmm.
Not really because of anything you did, but there is an art to that. I think the team you saw against the Bengals is more who they are. I'm also going to tell you this right now. You call me a homer. You can use my own phrase at me all you want to. # no homer. They're going to struggle with the Jets way more than you think. Way more than you think. I'm not telling you we're going to win.
Right.
I'm just telling you I've watched the line movement, and there is somebody real bright in Vegas with real deep pockets that agrees with me.
Well, I mean, that all comes back to Teddy B. Teddy Bridgewater is going to be your starting quarterback for this week, and yeah, I don't like that.
Why? Why? I've heard this thought, and I
mm-hmm.
do not get it.
Do you think Teddy Bridgewater is a good quarterback?
I don't think Tua Tagovailoa is a good quarterback.
No, so you think it's not going to be that much of a difference?
I think they're the same guy. Tua has a better deep ball arm, and Teddy Bridgewater is less likely to beat you.
Mm-hmm.
If you told me, all right, so just analytics. In terms of cornerback pairings, I said this earlier, the Jets have the best pair in the league in DJ Reed and Ahmad Sauce Gardner.
Yes.
If you told me one of those two quarterbacks threw 3 picks that put Zach Wilson in a short field and that's how they lost to the Jets, I'd bet my house it was Tua. I would bet my house it was Tua. And that's based off what I saw against Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Teddy took a shot. He didn't feel comfortable doing it. And I guarantee you the entire game plan this week is, okay, less of that 50-yard downfield where Teddy throws a punt and more slip screens, more drag routes, more Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill get open, accurate. Teddy Bridgewater gets them the football, and then the onus is on them.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to be honest with you, I like that better for Miami. I think that is a better path to success for them, and people are getting snowed on the fact that Tua Tagovailoa beat a bad Baltimore Ravens secondary that just fell apart in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't buy Tua. I don't think there's that much of a difference between him and Teddy Bridgewater, and I never have.
Okay. I think that's going to be the thing that limits the capability of this team. They won't be able to stretch the field, and that's the thing that generated the comeback. The big comeback that everybody wants to talk about with the Baltimore Ravens is that's because they were able to stretch the field, and they're not going to be able to do that with Teddy Bridgewater. He may be more accurate than Tua, and I think he is.
It changes the game plan.
Mm-hmm.
Now the game plan becomes more Shanahanian.
Mm-hmm. But
look at what San Francisco did last night. Get the ball out of Jimmy Garoppolo's hands. Get it in the hands of the playmakers. That's what you're going to see from Miami with Teddy Bridgewater.
Mm-hmm.
That is a better path to long-term success to me than this idea that all of a sudden Tua Tagovailoa has become Patrick Mahomes.
But you still can't run the ball, and that is a concern.
They can. They're just not doing it.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, if you didn't catch our fantasy football show this week, Raheem Mostert. I think I said that name 68 times in 44 minutes.
Getting into the top 10, number 9.
Oh, this one I cannot wait for the gnashing of teeth that is going to happen when I say the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah, I mean it's starting to become a thing where you can't deny it. I mean, the Jacksonville Jaguars got up 14-0 on the Philadelphia Eagles, who some people believe are the best team in the league. And if you don't think they're the best team in the league, you at least
if you don't have them in the top 3, you're invalid.
Right.
Your entire rankings is invalid if you don't have Philadelphia 1, 2, or 3.
They got up 14-0, and people say, but then what happened? Yeah, I get it. But again, that was, Trevor Lawrence is still figuring things out.
You're on the road against one of the best teams in the league.
Right. He's going to be inconsistent. It was rainy. There were a lot of factors that went into the Jacksonville Jaguars losing that lead, and I look more of that as a statement of where this Philadelphia Eagles team is to be able to gather themselves, go, we're down 14, but it's not over. And we ran the ball down their throat. We ended up winning the ball game. I put that more on Philadelphia's success than it is Jacksonville's failure.
At the end of the day, on the road against one of the best teams in the league, you turned it over 4 times. And with 1:55 to go, the ball was in your hands with a chance to tie this ball game. That tells me more than your wins have. And if you look at the schedule, there's a lot of wins there.
Mm-hmm. There are. The LA Rams being number 8 will probably surprise some people. But did you see anything in that game last night? Or have you seen anything this season that makes you feel like the Los Angeles Rams should still be one of those top 5, top 6 teams in the league? We'll discuss that more coming up next here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Well, the clouds are gone and some beautiful fall weather into the midweek forecast with crisp nighttime low temps, low 40s in the valley tonight, 30s with elevation again tonight. Sunshine Wednesday, high 70 degrees, and we'll keep the bright, beautiful fall sunshine Thursday and Friday with comfortable humidity, highs in the 70s, lows in the 40s. Weekend going to get cool again, high Saturday 60 degrees, low Saturday night 36. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Driving slow, 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 240 west and eastbound also slow on the Captain Jeff Bowen Bridge. 26 westbound delays between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. In North Asheville, Merriman Avenue northbound at Stratford Road, traffic is slowing. Smoky Park Highway northbound approaching Sand Hill Road is slow. Near Inca Village, Sardis Road, moving from Sand Hill Road to Bavard Road, slow. Near Avery Creek, Bavard Road north and southbound near Long Shoals Road, slow. Again, Bavard Road northbound slow between Clayton Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Hendersonville Road southbound slow between Biltmore Forest and Overlook Road. Sweeten Creek Road southbound slows approaching Mills Gap Road. I'm Lyndon Field with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Chucky.
A new season is coming, and with it, major delays being reported due to another killer doll with a shady plan. Just how many Chuckies are there? Chucky rises again, and this time he wants to take over the world and our freeways. Chucky Season 2 premieres October 5th, only on USA and Sci-Fi.
I'm Lindsay McCormick.
And I'm Rashad Jennings, and we're the co-hosts of The Bag, a brand new podcast from Sports Illustrated and iHeartRadio.
If it involves sports and money, we're going to talk about it. From inside scoops on the latest contracts to inspiring stories of athletes making moves in other industries to the business of gaming, fantasy sports, and sports betting.
Some of today's athletes are savvy entrepreneurs and leaders shaping the future of how the business of sports gets done.
What are you waiting for? Get The Bag.
Available on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get podcasts.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
When I finally drove the old car into the grave, I knew there was only one place I was going to go. Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville, home of the family plan. And yes, they treat you like family. I went in, told them what I was looking for, told them my budget, and in no time, I was signing the paperwork on my certified pre-owned vehicle. They have the area's largest selection on quality pre-owned vehicles and certified Nissans. They go through a 167-point inspection, so you know it's not going to let you down. They gave me the Carfax report, so I know the history of my vehicle. And the Fred Anderson family plan gives me things like oil changes and car washes and loaner cars if I have to have major work done on the car in the future. For me, buying a car has always been an intimidating thought. But the folks at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville made it super easy. Don't be like me. Don't wait till the last minute to get a deal done. Go to AndersonNissan.com or stop by the showroom at 629 Brevard Road. And don't forget to mention we sent you from the Sportsocracy and get a $250 bonus on your trade-in at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville. Oh, it is is that time. It's time for the most important message of the day.
Don't do crimes. Joe Exotic did crimes.
Of course he did.
And now he has a very stupid philosophy on he is appealing his sentence to a higher district court in Colorado on the premise that his sentence is unconstitutional.
Okay.
Because he was sentenced to 2 consecutive sentences for murder for hire.
Okay.
And his philosophy and his lawyer's appeal is that it was all the same plot. The problem, but you did it 2 times. You did it 2 times, which means that's 2 separate acts.
But I wasn't trying to kill 2 people.
Yeah, and I got that. I understand that part of the argument. But you did it 2 times, which is why they sentenced you 2 times.
Mm-hmm.
If you get into 2 wrecks with the same car, it's still 2 wrecks. You don't seem to be getting that. Joe Exotic is just the gift that keeps on giving. Google his name like once a week and just see the stories that pop up. Because I do that, and then I sit around and listen to Joe Exotic songs for an hour.
I feel like you're the only one, though.
Oh, no, I'm not.
I do.
Oh, no, they trend on Twitter all the time.
Joe Exotic does?
Oh, yeah. Oh, there have been several stories that I couldn't tell on this show, in spite of the fact I would love to.
That's one of those things that I just do not get. Like you in baseball. Like you just don't think baseball is relevant at all, despite the fact that there are a lot of people who care about baseball. I get that there are a lot of people that care about Joe Exotic, but I haven't even thought about him for 2 seconds since, I don't know, a year and a half ago.
How relevant to the NBA? Scale of 1 to 10. 4. Okay. It outrates baseball gruesomely.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, gruesomely. I go off analytics. If millions of you started watching baseball, we'd talk about it. Because I keep up with it enough to do so. It's the worst run sport in the world.
Don't get me wrong. This is not a plea for more baseball content. All I'm saying is I look at Joe Exotic about as irrelevant as you see baseball.
Oh, Kevin Vick in our YouTube comments. Joe Exotic interest higher than Aaron Judge interest. Correct.
And I feel like that is
Of course you do. You're a baseball curmudgeon.
That is the worst statement that I have heard all day.
You're one of those 70 people that goes to a Pittsburgh Pirates game like, is everybody just late? No, they're not late. And 64 of the tickets were given away.
Oh, gosh.
Have you seen the picture of the Pirate Stadium in their last home game?
No.
There were 400 people there total, and I think 100 of them worked in the stadium.
Why would you go?
Yeah, trust me, you never see an NBA stadium look like that. Ever. I mean, and now trust me, there are times that they don't look great. They don't ever look like that.
I was going to say, I don't know. I don't remember the last time I've seen a picture of the Sacramento Kings.
Oh, they show up just to be angry. Trust me, I dated a girl from Northern California. They're angry about everything. But mainly because they think that they should, annex themselves from the rest of California because they don't want to be lumped into that. And the Kings are the only thing they have to go yell at. And they do.
Back to the NFL Power Rankings for Week 5. Number 8, the LA Rams.
I mean, and I'm sure somebody's going to think that's low. What exactly do they do well at this point? They Aaron Donald well.
Mm-hmm.
They Cooper Kupp well.
They Jalen Ramsey well most of the time.
Not all the time.
Not all the time, but most of the time.
Yeah, the busted coverage on Deebo Samuel, you know who it was? Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah.
Look, I think a lot of people are way too down on Jalen, but I'm looking at this team as the defending Super Bowl champions, going, I can only have you so low. But you could have gotten absolutely smoked last night. You don't run well. You don't often stop the pass well. And you've played 2 teams that I think are even decently good. Now, granted, those 2 teams are both ranked pretty highly here. I haven't said either one of them.
Mm-hmm.
They both smoked you. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with that. I think now it's kind of bearing itself out of the league's figuring you out.
Mm-hmm.
They know you could only get the ball to Cooper Kupp. Last night, and I can't remember the exact stat, but they threw something in the neighborhood 44 times. 32 of those targets were to Cooper Kupp and Tyler Higbee.
Mm-hmm.
That's not that difficult to stop, and people are figuring out keep Cooper Kupp in front of you.
They threw it how many times?
44, I think.
And Cooper Kupp and Tyler Higbee were the only guys that had more than 3 catches.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations. You Cooper Kupp really, really well.
I mean, I'll tell you the exact stat. Stafford was 32 of 48.
Okay.
And you had a combined 33 targets to Cooper Kupp and Tyler Higbee. Allen Robinson is irrelevant.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't even have 100 yards receiving this year. Averaging in the neighborhood of 2.8 yards a carry. You don't really do anything all that well. You're talented enough to stay up here. And so far, you haven't lost games. And I think you're going to smoke the Dallas Cowboys. Am I going to be shocked if you don't? No. I won't be shocked.
Number 7, it's the Baltimore Ravens.
This is another team that just has all the talent in the world, and I believe in Lamar, and I believe in John Harbaugh. And if I hear one more person say he should have kicked that stupid field goal, I'm going to lose my mind.
I would always take the points. Okay.
I mean, 1978 called. That was a long time ago. That's not really how this league works anymore.
Do you want to take your chances with overtime? Okay. Maybe you feel like that would have given you a better shot. But I feel like the play was there. The play was there, and Buffalo came up with the turnover.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Buffalo's the better team.
Bad luck. You took your shot. You missed it. There was nothing that was going to stop Josh Allen and that offense from going down and kicking the game-tying field goal. Tyler Bass wouldn't have missed it. You'd have gone into overtime, and you'd have lost there. Your best shot to win that game was in regulation. I think we did this last year with them, didn't we? Didn't we have a game last year where John Harbaugh went for 2 at the end of a game to win it in regulation? They missed it, and everybody flipped out. That was your best shot to win.
I feel like John Harbaugh can't catch a break, and I don't know why. I don't know why the media rails on John Harbaugh so much. He's a phenomenal coach.
Because he's a risk taker.
And that's fine. I'm perfectly fine with that.
I am too, but I think that's why. That's why he has these late game decisions to make. He makes the risky decision. It doesn't pan out, and that's always going to come back to bite you in the media. They got to have something to write about, and they don't want to just completely trash the secondary, so let's go with the coach.
And that's the reason they're this high to me is I look at this team and go, you have Marlon Humphrey, who's middle of the pack. In terms of corners in this league, he's not middle of the pack.
No.
That's not who he is.
He is an elite player.
And there are a lot of guys on this team that I feel that way about. The offensive line is in shambles.
Mm-hmm.
And Lamar Jackson's still out here just he's been phenomenal. And I think over the course of the season, if they can get healthy, I feel like we said that about Baltimore 5 years in a row. Why that is, I don't know. But this team healthy, I still believe in.
Mm-hmm. Next up, it's the Green Bay Packers. Number 6 on the Week 5 power rankings. And this is another team. I don't know what's up with the defense. Again, on paper, you were supposed to be better than this.
And I understand that. And if you recall, when all of these things were being said about how talented the defense was, I said you're counting on a lot of young guys. This is going to take a minute. And that's still how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
Jair Alexander, still been pretty, notwithstanding the Justin Jefferson week, still been pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Rashawn Gary is an elite pass rusher in this league. Other than that, you got a lot of guys that have to figure out their place. The safeties are brutal. That is one thing that terrifies me is if you really get into a game with a team that can really push it down the field. Kansas City Chiefs, Buffalo Bills. I don't know what they would do to you, but it wouldn't be good.
Mm-hmm.
And this is another team that has to get healthy.
Every team's got to have that. You can't be great at every position, and every team has to have that guy that you just go, okay, you've got to pick it up. It used to be Kevin King for the Green Bay Packers, and now it's Darnell Savage.
And Zion in our YouTube comments, the Packers are too low. I think when you see the 5 teams in front of them, you're not going to agree with that. I mean, yeah, they have a ton of dogs on this team. There's a lot of sorting out that is happening with Green Bay. Now, could they sort it out? Sure. The NFC is much further down than I could have ever anticipated.
Mm-hmm. I feel like it's still the weapons. That's still my biggest drawback on offense. The wide receiver weapons are not great.
No, but Romeo Doubs is clearly situating himself. Him and Lazard are a 1A and 1B.
Mm-hmm.
You'll get Sammy Watkins back eventually. I think that's all going to sort itself out. Here's what I cannot figure out. Why can you not play a whole game? Why did you almost lose at home to the New England Patriots, who have nothing to a third-string quarterback? Look, I liked Bailey Zapp, and no, I will not call him Zappy. Bailey, buddy, come on. Just jump up and say, we're all saying my name wrong, me included. Aaron Rodgers had his worst half of football against the New England Patriots team that we spent 10 minutes in our pregame show talking about how in the world are they going to stop Green Bay.
Mm-hmm.
How are they going to stop Aaron Rodgers? They don't have any players in the back half of this defense. I can't get past that. You're at home against a listless team. You've already gotten smoked once. Minnesota absolutely demolished you.
Mm-hmm.
And you weren't overly impressive against Tampa Bay. And great, you smoked the Chicago Bears. That has always been the narrative with Matt LaFleur. He can crush bad teams. He very rarely beats good teams. And until you do, it's going to be hard for me to have you any higher than this. Good thing is you get the Giants, the Jets, and the Commanders the next 3 weeks. Some nice feeling out time.
Should the Packers be in the top 5? Well, you would have to tell me how they're better than the Cincinnati Bengals.
If Cincinnati played them right now, they would absolutely eviscerate Green Bay because you can't stop them down the field. You couldn't stop Bailey Zapp from pressing the ball down the field on you.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to say this because a couple weeks ago when Cincinnati's 0-2, whatever are we going to do? It seems like a really long time ago now, doesn't it?
It doesn't seem like that long ago. I mean, you did beat the Jets, which we get that's a more talented team than being god-awful like they have been in years past. You beat the Dolphins, but again, that game was all about Tua and what happened with him. I'm just not seeing the spark yet. I'm waiting for that huge Joe Burrow game. And maybe it's good for them that they get the Baltimore Ravens secondary this week. This could be the one where you finally see Joe Mixon come alive, where you see Joe Burrow have that eye-popping stats game.
I mean, through 4 games, you got 1,100 yards. I don't really know what more you want than that. The line seems to be solidifying. Did you notice Joe Bede wasn't on his back very much against the Miami Dolphins?
No.
So one of two things it happened there. Either the line was better than we thought, or that Dolphins defense is about what I told you it was. I think it's a little mixture of both.
I would agree.
And Vegas is heavily on Cincinnati this week. Baltimore's 3-point favorite. And I'm not so sure that I disagree with them.
I don't.
The big thing Baltimore cannot do is get after the quarterback consistently.
Mm-hmm.
That is the one way you beat Cincinnati. You keep Joe Burrow off his point, rattle him a little bit, and he can't sit here and pick and pop to Tyler Boyd and T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. I'm not sure Baltimore can do that.
I don't think they can. I'll be on Cincinnati this week against the Ravens because I do see growth from Cincinnati, and I'm seeing regression from the Baltimore Ravens, at least on the defensive side of the ball. Lamar Jackson's still amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And I still feel like he is number 2 in the MVP race after Josh Allen just took over number 1.
Cincinnati, Green Bay, the Rams, there are a slew of teams that are up in the top 10 here that have never fallen out of the top 10. You'd played nobody in the preseason. And I'm fully of the belief that Sean McVay philosophy of we played no one in the preseason is stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Every one of these teams started slow. But they're getting better every single week. And that's why Cincinnati's at 5 for me.
We are down to the top 4 in the Week 5 Power Rankings. If you're doing a power ranking of weight loss programs, the number 1 has to be PhD weight loss. Never seen results from a program like I've seen from PhD. They've helped me lose over 90 pounds. They've turned me into a completely different looking person. One of our great listeners sent me a picture the other day of us back at a baseball game 2 years ago. And I saw it, and I went, I don't even really recognize that guy anymore. I feel completely better now that I have shed 90 pounds with the weight loss. We're with the PhD weight loss program. And frankly, I'm looking forward to losing more.
I've been athletic most of my life. However, in my older age, I got a little lazy, started making poor food choices. And about a year ago, I had gotten almost to the heaviest I'd ever been. Decided to make a change, and that change was PhD. Now, 9 months after starting the program, I'm back in the 240s, which is my comfortable weight where I'm supposed to be, and it's all thanks to the planning program of PhD Weight Loss.
PhD Weight Loss has a support system that is unrivaled of any program that I have ever seen. Their health coaches will help spur you along your life-changing path. PhD Weight Loss is the official weight loss program of the Clemson Tigers and their fans. Check them out at myphdweightloss.com.
This is your time-saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Driving slow, 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 westbound slowing between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 eastbound light delays between the French Broad River and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 40 westbound, pockets of slow traffic volume between Hendersonville Road and the Smoky Park Highway. Smoky Park Highway northbound approaching Sand Hill Road is slow. NC 112 northbound, Sardis Road between Brevard Road and Sand Hill Road. Traffic is stop and go. Near Avery Creek, Brevard Road north and southbound approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. Brevard Road northbound again slow between Clayton Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Sweden Creek Road southbound slow between Blue Ridge Parkway and Mills Gap Road. I'm Lyndon Field with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by News Nation. Chris Cuomo is back with a new show on a new network. Catch Cuomo weeknights on News Nation at 8/7 Central. To find News Nation on your television provider, go to newsnationnow.com/join us.
She posted about us just now.
Celebrities can't get enough of Beyond's bespoke skincare line.
She has 147 million followers. How do we monetize?
She needs a social media associate to help her with the hype.
We should repost this. Do we need a hashtag?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
The can't-miss music event of the year is coming to the CW.
The 2022 iHeartRadio Music Festival.
Featuring once-in-a-lifetime performances from the biggest superstars in all of music.
Ladies and gentlemen, what's up, Vegas? Make some noise! I don't know if y'all ready for this one.
All hosted by Ryan Seacrest from T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas.
Don't miss our 2022 iHeartRadio Music Festival.
This Friday and Saturday at 8 p.m. on the CW.
To some, a baby's babbling doesn't mean much, but it does. Especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Learn more at autismspeaks.org. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com.
Are you ready to tackle your banking needs? Home Trust Bank's team of expert advisors and lenders want to be your teammate. We want to hear your story, learn your aspirations, and assist you with financial needs, and provide options that are tailored to you. With a wide range of personal, mortgage, and commercial services, you will discover all your banking needs under one roof with a local and personalized touch at Home Trust Bank. Score big with Home Trust Bank. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
The season we've all been waiting for is here. No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in Western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays.
right, putting the bow on the Week 5 power rankings in the NFL. This is the Sportsocracy on ESPN. Asheville, number 4.
The San Francisco 49ers.
Best defense in the league. Jimmy Garoppolo, he gives them an opportunity to win. Deebo Samuel's out there doing special things. This team's going to win a lot of games.
Look, I know they have the Rams number, but to look that impressive against the reigning Super Bowl champions, I know you were at home. I know it was a long week. That's better than I would have thought they would look this early with Garoppolo not even having a playbook a month ago.
Granted, they're only 2-2.
Mm-hmm.
But you got a lot of winnable games on this schedule. You got the Panthers and the Falcons next.
That's a lot of time to figure this out.
That's right.
And they looked that good with George Kittle being largely irrelevant and not really being able to run the ball at all. That's a lot of room for growth.
That is. Number 3.
The Kansas City Chiefs.
Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, never doubt it.
I'm not dead sold on that defense yet.
And you shouldn't be.
And maybe that's a belief I had going into the season that's just dying hard. I'm not dead sold on that yet. Pat Mahomes is special. No doubt about that. I will be curious to see what they look like against a team that I fully believe can track meet with them. I don't think Tampa Bay can track meet with them.
No.
You get me a Buffalo or one of these other teams that can just march up and down the field.
2 weeks. We get Kansas City and Buffalo on the 16th. And that's going to be the game of the week.
No doubt.
Game of the season. That'll determine home field advantage probably for the playoffs.
It's entirely possible. It is entirely possible.
Number 2.
The Philadelphia Eagles. You had to know. I can't put you over.
Of course not. But, I mean, I get it. And we're 4 weeks into the season. You can't back off of the best team in the league.
And I mean, Philadelphia has had look, I thought we were high. I had Philadelphia at 9 coming into the season because I looked at the schedule and went, I don't know where you're going to lose.
Mm-hmm.
And they're markedly better than I would have ever thought. Miles Sanders, apparently Nick Sirianni heard our cries of run the damn ball.
Because you know what? He a dog.
He is a dog.
Miles Sanders is damn good. He's having the breakout that I have thought was coming for him since he came into the league. Apparently, Nick Sirianni does not hate him anymore, and he's doing he's doing great work with the touches that he's got. And then you go Cardinals, Cowboys, Steelers, Texans, Commanders, Colts. Before you get the Packers, that's 9-0.
Mm-hmm. The Philadelphia Eagles are the best team in the NFC. Now, I'm going to have to see you when it matters because I think you're going to sleepwalk into winning this division by 5 games.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do with it when you get there? When the expectations mount, what happens?
And number 1.
Nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills.
The Bills they have it all. They have everything you could want in a championship caliber team. They have the offense. They have the defense. Don't give me they can't run the ball because they've proven since last year it does not matter.
If they figure out how to run it, nobody will beat them. And, I mean, you got to understand, this is one of the teams that's leading the NFL in turnovers. You're the king until you're not.
Mm-hmm.
And until somebody beats them and proves to me that they're better, you're going to keep being number 1 because that's the most talented team in the NFL.
But the Dolphins beat them.
They didn't mean to. You got outgained by 2.5 times. In your loss, you outgained your opponent by 280 yards.
All right, it's been fun over the last 3 hours with you here in the Sportsocracy. We will not be with you tomorrow afternoon because of Braves baseball, the final interruption of the regular season. Braves and the Miami Marlins, you will hear right here on ESPN Asheville tomorrow afternoon. We will return with you on Thursday, where we'll get into college football.
Mullet and the Dude, 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. Uncensored sports talk with me and Brian Haynes.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Well, the clouds are gone and some beautiful fall weather into the midweek forecast with crisp nighttime low temps, low 40s in the valley tonight, 30s with elevation again tonight. Sunshine Wednesday, high 70 degrees, and we'll keep the bright, beautiful fall sunshine Thursday and Friday with comfortable humidity, highs in the 70s, lows in the 40s. Weekend going to get cool again, high Saturday 60 degrees, low Saturday night 36. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is slowing 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 westbound slows west of Airport Road to the Blue Ridge Parkway. 40 westbound slow between the 26-240 split Malfunction Junction and the Smoky Park Highway. NC 112 northbound Sardis Road between Brevard Road and Sand Hill Road. Traffic is stop and go. Sweeten Creek Road, north and southbound, approaching Mills Gap Road, slow. Hendersonville Road, southbound, light delays between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Overlook Road.
This report is sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech. Charging a cell phone can be like getting a booster shot. A booster is given to enhance or restore protection after a primary series vaccination, which wanes over time. Schedule an appointment when you are eligible. Sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville WPEK.